see our ugly mugs here. They want to see our faces. You'll see our faces in just a second. Brendan and Newark, hang on tight. We'll get to you about your Bosa question.
A Bosa question?
Well,
so early.
You saw we didn't practice. Bosa, Armstead, Kinlaw. Armstead's already out. Ebukam didn't practice. You may have 4 dudes who basically start for you, not play Sunday against Atlanta. We'll see.
Bosa is very important, and there's a distinction between edge pass rushers and defensive tackles, but you know where I stand on the defensive tackle thing. Like Javon Kinlaw and Armstead, nice guys. Armstead's significantly more accomplished than Javon Kinlaw, but boy, they have spent a lot of money on that position, and they don't have a lot to show for it.
They don't. And it's sad. You are a walking billboard today, according to YouTube. Antonio Shasky wearing all the brands today.
What's that?
He's got Ping. He's got Olympic Club. What else you got? Adidas.
Yeah.
What else you got going on?
Don't hate the player. Hate the game.
I'm not hating.
No, in the words of Mac Minister, don't hate the game. Hate yourself.
Who's hating?
You know?
Nobody's hating.
Did you see on Instagram, by the way, while we're here with Mac Minister, did you see on Instagram, who got married? My jaw dropped.
Who got married?
Sugar Free.
Sugar Free got married?
Married.
Oh, gosh.
And all the comments are off on Instagram.
Oh, he turned the comments off?
Yes.
He got married?
I'm shocked.
So he's a retired pimp.
Well, he said 30 years in the game, he's retiring. His new album's coming out, and then he's done.
That's unbelievable.
Jaw dropped.
Sugar Free, dude. He's got some hitters.
Sugar.
Sugar. So
one of my favorite all-time rappers.
No. Wait.
He got one of my favorite songs ever, The Lone Ranger. 30 years in.
Wow. There's a song I was just playing from Sugar Free.
Lone Ranger, one of my favorites.
I would have to hear it. I would have to hear the beat. Literally listened to it like last week.
Sugar Free looked very ready to retire.
Did he still have the hair?
He had the hair. It was picked back. You know what he reminds me?
He had to comb slick back all the way.
That character in Snowfall.
Oh, yes.
With the Bloods.
Yeah, with the Bloods. And he's in the wood.
Yes.
Stacy in the wood.
He reminds me of Sugar Free so much.
Gosh, why can't I think of his name?
Except he's way more crazy than Sugar Free.
By the way.
And Sugar Free's one of the all-time craziest rappers. He got flows.
He does have flow. Did you see the meme?
Huh.
With Snowfall about Steph and Dre.
Oh, when they're in the car?
In the car?
Yeah, it's pretty good. Franklin?
Tell me that's not a great line.
I know.
I built this stuff.
It's so good.
And you want to get mad because you don't like the way another talk.
It's so good. When does that come back?
I don't know. Snowfall's just... I'm conflicted now because I want to know this guy's name. What's his name? Snowfall. Text line. Help us out. Xfinity Mobile text line. You know I was thinking.
The text line is just killing you. If Sugar Free can do it, you can too, Monte.
I'm not a pimp. And then you get another random text. I told Matt, it goes, what are you guys going to start with? I said, dude, we're random in the opening segment. We're so random. So here's a random question. 209 Xfinity Mobile text line.
Random. Shout out Guru.
Random. Shout out Guru. Who's your soccer team, Monte? I like Tottenham.
Yeah.
But I am kind of leaning towards PSG, even though they had a draw
so you're
the other day. Yeah, I am set tripping. Well, PSG plays in League One in the French League. Tottenham plays in the Premier League. So I'm going to try to have a team in every single league.
Oh.
So should it be Real Madrid? Should it be Barcelona FC?
So you're like the guy who has an Eastern Conference team, a Western Conference team, an American League team,
I'm basically a Yankee,
team.
Laker, Dallas Cowboy fan. Oh, wait, is that Guru? That's correct.
No
Guru.
comment.
Scully is his name.
Scully. That's right.
He's next level.
All right, so I know I want to get into a couple of things today.
Yeah, you said something about softball. I heard Kyle.
I will get to that, and we are going to get into the 49ers. I've got a question for the audience, and I'm just going to pose this question now, and then I'll set up my story, and I want to know what everyone's thinking here. In year 3, like this is essentially, even though they've done it for 4 years now because 2020 felt like a lost year, this is really like the 3rd year of Shanahan, right? And we know these windows in the NFL, they feel...
Oh, year 6.
I'm talking about this core of players.
This core of players.
Excuse me, this core of players.
Core.
And the way I look at it, like... You know, we're in the middle of year 3 for this core in terms of the winning, right? And we'll see how this year plays out. Harbaugh had the 3 years of winning, and then that 4th year felt like an afterthought, even though they went 8-8, and you know the bottom fell out.
Somebody need to teach Jordan Poole how to squabble in the words of Uncle Jerome.
I do love Uncle Jerome.
You got some squabbles?
He got the best Jerry curl on TV.
He's got the best curl ever. He's legit. All right.
So I want to ask you a question, and I want to ask the audience
got
this
an
morning
email about being distracted. And
I know, and you're just fully distracted. It's okay. It's Thursday. So I'm looking at it this way. Are you taking the Harbaugh core, all right? The Harbaugh core, that 3 years, or are you taking this core, the Shanahan core?
Why you ask?
Because, man, it feels like this is going to be... There's going to be a lot changing after this year. I told you about Eric Armstead's making a ton of money.
Yeah.
It feels
Jimmy Ward.
Jimmy Ward I think he's a free agent at the end of this year, unrestricted free agent, if I'm not mistaken. They've got some decisions coming up. We know Jimmy Garoppolo could be a free agent. Who knows? Maybe they bring him back. It feels like it's year to year in the NFL. And I look at the 49ers, and they've got a lot of moving parts, and they've got certain guys that need to get paid, and they need to get broke off here. And I think they have decisions. And so it feels to me like this is going to be one of their best opportunities to win a Super Bowl. And I'm going to ask you, if I would just give you the core, and if you want to throw the coach in there, fine. The Shanahan core with Bosa, with Debo, with George Kittle, Fred Warner, or you want to take the Harbaugh core, Vernon Davis, Frank Gore. Obviously, you throw Harbaugh in there. Both the quarterbacks. You want to throw Patrick Willis and Justin Smith, and you want to throw Navarro Bowman in there.
The more I think about it, the more I'm like, this is an easy question.
Why is that?
This is an easy answer. It's the Harbaugh core. It's the Harbaugh core, hands down. From D-line to linebackers. Secondary is the only question mark when it comes, and that's only this year because of Mooney Ward. That's only because of Mooney Ward and Hufanga.
Well, and
Whitner was really good.
And they've put together, six games essentially of elite play, or 5 games of elite play.
The offensive line was so much better with Harbaugh than it was right now.
Trent was individually better than anyone that they had, but Joe Staley was pretty damn good.
Joe Staley was good.
And then Goodwin for the 2 years was really good. Iupati was very good.
Alex
Anthony
Boone
Davis was good.
Alex Boone played good at right guard.
That outline was better.
Your tight ends were better.
I think so, too.
Delaney Walker, Vernon Davis.
And, Kyle Madsen, who did the morning show, was talking about Vernon Davis and his lack of being able to catch the ball with his hands, which I agree with. He used to catch everything.
No doubt.
But you look up, he has some phenomenal years.
Vernon Davis.
George Kittle would have to do work to come close to his touchdown record.
2 years ago, a lot of people were already saying George Kittle's the better 49er tight end.
And what did I say?
You said you better hold your horses.
Vernon Davis was awesome.
You better hold your horses.
And I know George Kittle's a great blocker. I think we've forgotten how great Vernon Davis was at blocking.
Vernon Davis was a really good blocker. Really good blocker. Did he have a 1,000-yard season? No.
No, I thought he had an 1,100-yard year.
No, Vernon Davis, the most he ever received
he had
for was 965.
Wow. He had a 13-touchdown season?
Yeah, that was the year he had touchdowns. Overall, he had 63 touchdowns. George Kittle has how many? 14?
63?
63.
And then you have the all-time greatest 49er running back in terms of yardage.
Frank Gore.
Which, to me, is a first-ballot Hall of Famer.
The quarterbacks were better. Kaepernick was better than Garoppolo for that 2-year stretch. He was better.
That's a controversial statement for a lot of people. I agree with you.
But he was better.
I agree with you. He was more dynamic.
Very dynamic. Wide receivers, you're taking Debo and Ayuk probably over Crabtree.
Crabtree had the one good year.
He had
the one really good year.
And
then Bolden was good in 2013.
Yeah, but he was here for the 1 year.
The 1 year.
You know what I'm saying? It was an outlier.
I would probably give wide receiver to them.
I'll give Debo and Ayuk their credit, even though there's a lot to be desired with Brandon Ayuk.
Absolutely.
You would like to see him get the ball more.
It feels like for a first-round pick, they're not even using him as much as they should, even though he's got, I think he gets 5 targets a game.
They use him like Josh Morgan. With Josh Morgan, you want to talk about the Harbaugh core? They use Brandon Ayuk like Josh Morgan.
One of the most underrated injuries during the Harbaugh era.
Tampa Bay.
Yes.
Up 41-3.
Yes.
Somebody's looking for their helmet. Josh Morgan runs into the game. I was actually at that game. I didn't go to a lot of games, but I was at that game. And he ran out to the field. Kaepernick throws him a touchdown pass, breaks his leg. They were rolling. That was a big-time injury. The big time. Well, think about the NFC Championship game. Instead of throwing to Brett Swade, you're throwing to Josh Morgan. Just saying.
No, I know.
And it ruined his career.
I know. That's a great point. I might take Jennings over some of their number 2s that they had those first couple years.
Exactly. So you're thinking like the way they use Ayuk is a problem to me.
Yeah.
It's a problem. He's a first-round pick and one of the more dynamic first rounds when it came to wide receiver talent. Henry Ruggs is in jail. CeeDee Lamb. You had Justin Jefferson. Of course, you had Jalen Reagor.
Who's returning kicks.
Michael Pittman Jr., second round.
Yeah.
Claypool.
Yeah.
Claypool's in that draft.
Yeah.
So
was he a third round? He was a third rounder that year.
Dude,
that's right.
Dude, that draft was loaded. And yet you're using Ayuk as it's just a role player. So I'm taking a Harbaugh era all day long. But with that said, you know how I can take the Shanahan core right now? They need to go all in.
Well, so I'm glad you brought this up.
They need to go all in. Last week we had the conversation about Christian McCaffrey. I brought it to you.
Yeah.
I said, Shasky, what can you do to bring Christian McCaffrey out of Carolina?
You were talking about wide receivers for the Harbaugh era. You know what was the trade I wanted them to consummate that they never did? Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah.
We were begging for a guy to take the top off the defense forever, and they never had the guts to go in on Deshaun Jackson. That's the one frustration that I have looking back. Obviously, like, this guy plays better, or that guy plays better, or this sequence doesn't happen. I felt the one personnel decision that they didn't do is they held on to their draft picks, like they were gold, and they told me they were going to replenish wide receivers via the draft, and it never really worked out.
No doubt.
A.J. Jenkins thing was a nightmare. And if you look back, if you would have said, Joe, I will trade a first and second round pick, and I would have gave you that one player that could have made a difference, don't you think either in the NFC Championship games of 11 and 13 or that Super Bowl, that one or two plays makes the difference?
No doubt. There's no doubt. They were 1 for 13 on third down. 1 for 13 on third down. Crabtree that game. 1 catch, 3 yards. And the one quote that I've stuck with forever, and this quote is now 11 years old. Sometimes you got to give your playmakers a chance to make a play.
It's such a great quote.
And last Sunday, Garoppolo gave his playmakers a chance to make plays.
Agreed.
Kittle down the sideline. Tevin Coleman down the sideline. Throwing the ball to Debo. Getting the ball to Ayuk. Let your playmakers make plays.
Yeah.
That's why they're the Yak Bros. Crabtree said that, and then next year, and I don't care what anybody says, they go to Kaepernick, and they were better for it.
I think he had 85 catches, 1,200 yards, and whatever, 8, 9, 10 touchdowns.
Exploded.
And even Moss, they signed Moss for the 1 year. The threat of Moss changed how all defenses were guarding them. And I think he only had like 35 or 40 catches that year. But it was all the coverage that he dictated. And that's why I was like, God, if you had just made the trade the year before for Deshaun Jackson.
So, there's some premium players out there. Odell Beckham Jr. is lingering.
I want him.
And listen.
I want him. He killed us in the NFC Championship game.
I don't think there's any chance he goes back to the Rams now.
Now that they're hurting?
They're hurting. I'm ready to stick a fork in the Rams. I did it last year. It backfired. Of course, they won the Super Bowl.
Just wait a little then.
But they don't look good.
And if you go get Odell, it costs you nothing but money. Money.
That they have.
And it also gives you an insurance policy. We talk so much about their depth.
Right.
If something does happen to Debo or Ayuk and they miss a game or two, boy, it'd be nice to have another playmaker.
I just want more playmakers on the field.
I'm with you.
I just want more threats on the field. Now, Peter King joined Damon Arado, what was it, Monday or Tuesday?
I think it was Tuesday.
So Peter King joined him on Tuesday. And he explained why the Niners maybe shouldn't go after Christian McCaffrey. I want you to take a listen.
The only way I would do it is if it didn't cost very much and if they weren't worried very much about the cap implications. Because I think unless the Panthers are going to pick up some of his money, he's got a lot of money left over in the last 3 years of his deal. You have to ask yourself, if the Panthers are going to pick up a chunk of the money and you don't have to worry about any of things like the workout bonus or the prorated bonus, and you're willing to take on 12, 12, and 12 over the next 3 years, maybe you do it. But I wouldn't do it for big compensation. That's for sure.
So when the Niners signed Jerick McKinnon, what was that, a 4-year, $30 million deal with a lot of guarantees?
In free agency.
And it didn't work out, obviously. He tore his ACL the week before the first game against Minnesota. Who knows what could have happened? Because you know what? The paper airplane to Jerick McKinnon, he's actually running the ball hard at Kansas City.
Andy Reid has him looking good. I hate
that
to
number
admit
one.
It.
And I cringe every time he runs the ball because I'm like, damn it, if he wins the Super Bowl, he's going to repost that video and I'm going to look like an idiot. But look, no, seriously, Kansas City, they flipped that game against the Raiders. Everybody keeps talking about it. You know, Mahomes, Kelsey, they started running the football.
Yeah.
And Jerick McKinnon ran it hard. But having that threat of all that space, and I think about McCaffrey in this offense, I'm thinking, damn, if you got Debo, Kittle, and Ayuk and McCaffrey, what is the defense going to do? Now, I get it. There's a lot of money there, and a lot of people now in analytics or even non-analytics. A lot of people just don't believe in paying running backs.
But I don't think he's a running back. To me, he's a playmaker because you could play him in the slot, you could play him out of the backfield as a pass catcher, and he could be a running back. And you're a team that hangs your hat on running the ball. Why not have – last year, I don't think people remember. You were so banged up, Ucsf got the rock in one of the most important spots in the entire season with the game on the line. We all love Ucsf. I need somebody with a little more wiggle in a situation like that.
3-1.
And you referenced in 2011 when your team gets so depleted and it becomes the playoffs. Okay, the Rams went to Odell Beckham. All right. After everybody was hurt on their team, they signed Odell Beckham. They bring him in, and that's what they had for the rest of the year. The Niners got hurt in the wide receiver, and they had Brett Swain running passes. And it's the one image none of us can get out of our head.
None. So
you're telling me a team that hangs its hat on running the ball, and I know Elijah might be back at some point. You couldn't use it. He's basically a slot receiver.
He's Marshall Faulk.
So say
Marshall Faulk, you can line him up in the slot. You can line him up out wide. He runs routes. There was a game the Rams had back in the day with Kurt Warner. They were down at the Georgia Dome against Atlanta. Madden's on the call. Some are all in Madden. And Faulk ran this quick slant, damn near better than Jerry Rice. And I said, damn, this guy is special. That's Christian McCaffrey.
Absolutely.
Poor man's Marshall Faulk.
And this whole thing about money, last year, it went from 182 in terms of salary cap to 208. It jumped up. The cap is going to jump again.
Coming up, I want to get Madsen in here because he knows the Niners inside and out. He knows all the cap figures. He knows everything. We'll get him in here to explain how much money they have, what's their wiggle room or whatnot. Here's another good one. Watching the Raiders situation. What the Raiders keep losing? Because Alfonso Alvarez is on to something. He's like, what about Josh Jacobs?
And he's a free agent at the end of the year.
At the end of the year.
See, I wouldn't mind him for the rest of this season.
I'll send a fourth or hell, I'll send a third round pick. And please do not tell me that's.
How about Kinlaw?
Boy.
You know what I mean? I'm just saying, like, if they want a player, and then they can have that guy for another year.
I like Kinlaw. I do like Kinlaw a lot. But you see these last 2 weeks, you don't miss Kinlaw. You don't miss Armstead.
Yeah.
So I listen to that because Jacobs runs hard and he's not bad in the passing game. My problem is with the running back spot in San Francisco.
It's that.
I want to see a running back who could get out the backfield and catch the rock and make plays happen in space.
Well, the only thing I worry about, and I know he spoke with Damon and Ratto yesterday with Jeff Wilson Jr., and we'll play some of that. He looks great right now. We know it's unsustainable. Very few guys can take 250 to 300 carries a year and stay upright and be potent come playoff time.
Right.
I think it's a tall task. They need more bodies.
Josh Jacobs is looking for money. He's a tough runner. I want a running back who can get out in space and catch the ball and make things happen. That's why I'm so hell-bent on Christian McCaffrey. Shanahan's offense. Everybody says offense. Oh, man, he's one of the... I heard it over the broadcast. Troy Aikman. When he was broadcasting the Niners-Rams game on Monday night, he goes, McVay and Shanahan, they're in the top 5 when it comes to calling offenses. These guys are 2 of the best in the league. Okay, well, let me see him with a running back who can catch the ball out of the backfield. I need more dynamic playmakers. Check that. Okay, everybody's guarding Ayuk down the field. Everybody's guarding Debo down the field. Everybody's guarding Kittle. Can I just dump it off to a running back and let him make something happen?
I mean, I would love that. How many Texas routes does Debo run now and all these other running backs run? You put Christian McCaffrey in that same situation, you get him the ball in space, it's money. Aikman, dirty little secret, he's got like 10 coaches in his top 5.
Oh, yeah.
For everything.
I know. Aikman is all over the place.
I love him, though.
Aikman is all
I do love him, though.
Aikman is all over the place. All right, more coming up. 888-957-9570. What core are you taking, Harbaugh or Shanahan's core, this latest 3-year core? Should the Niners go all in? Should they make a run after Christian McCaffrey and Odell Beckham Jr.? It's go time. NFC's wide open. They're 3-2. They're in first place in the NFC West, getting ready for the Dirty Birds down in the ATL. What should the Niners do before the deadline? Should they go all in on Christian McCaffrey and Odell Beckham Jr.? Would love to hear from you. 888-957-9570. That's 888-957-9570. That'll be sponsored by On Deck Small Business Loans.
The Niners look for their 3rd straight victory. The 49ers with a big win on Monday night. They back it up with a victory in Carolina. San Francisco has got a little something going now. Falcons.
Mariota, well protected. 6-1 for London.
Our pregame coverage starts at 9 a.m. right here on 95.7 The Game.
Kirby Kirby, they're your driveway mechanic, and they bring the shop to you. And our friends over at Kirby just won the Motor Top 20 Award for innovation. Brakes and tire replacements, oil changes, and more. They've added a Kirby's eco-friendly wash. I used it, and it barely used any water, and it made my car look so brand new. They use biodegradable products that provide the ultimate shine and protection to both the exterior and interior of your car, all in the ease of your driveway. The ultimate convenience, easy booking, transparent pricing, on-time arrival, servicing your driveway, no waiting rooms or coordinating rides, direct access to your mechanic, friendly and reliable service, no middlemen, and no upsells. Get $50 off your first oil change with the code OIL50. That's OIL50. Or use the code JOEWASH. JOEWASH. That's my code. Get a free sealant treatment with the purchase of one of the Kirby's eco-friendly washes. Check out Kirby.com. That's CURBEE.com. Or call 1-866-KIRBY-1.
Brought to you by On Deck Small Business Loans.
When you own a small business, sometimes you need funds fast. So go to OnDeck.com, America's largest online small business lender. OnDeck makes it easy to apply in minutes. Apply for your loan today at OnDeck.com.
Hey, Becky, what about this beat for your next song?
It's cool, but I'm into faster stuff lately. Like Xfinity that gives me beyond gig speeds.
Got it. What about this then?
It sounds powerful, just like Xfinity. Because its supersonic Wi-Fi has 3 times the bandwidth, you can connect hundreds of devices at once.
That's what I call power.
Unbeatable internet from Xfinity. Made to do anything so you can do anything.
Get the Xfinity Supersonic Bundle with unlimited gig speed internet, Wi-Fi equipment included, and a free 4K streaming box. All for $50 a month with a 2-year internet rate guarantee and no annual contract when you add Xfinity Mobile with unlimited data at regular rates. Go to Xfinity.com/gig, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Limited time offer. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay. New gigabit extra internet customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Xfinity Mobile requires post-pay Xfinity internet. Reduced speeds after 20 gigabytes wireless usage. After 24 months, regular rates apply. Requires compatible Xfinity gateway.
As you know, sports teams plan well ahead of the next season. If you're thinking of remodeling your home, consider the same strategy. Talk with your designer or builder now about your next project. Golden State Window and Door has new inventory coming online. Milgard, Anderson, and Marvin. See Golden State Window and Door's wide variety of accessories at convenient showrooms across the Bay Area or goldenstatelumber.com. Since 1954, Golden State. When you succeed, we succeed.
Blink 182 is back June 22nd, 2023 at the SAP Center, and 95.7 The Game has your shot at tickets. For your chance to win, head to 957thegame.com/contests.
At Harris Ranch, we do beef, just like we've done for over 50 years. Beef that's raised locally right here in California. Tender steaks, awesome burgers, and California classics like tri-tip roast. The flavor you crave, the quality you trust time after delicious time. Come on, it's time to get out and grill. Harris Ranch, we do beef. Legendary beef, legendary quality.
At BMW of Fairfield, our guests work with one client advisor through the entire transaction. No handoffs to multiple car salesmen. No waiting for a finance manager to take you to a back room. Client advisors at BMW of Fairfield are thoroughly trained in every aspect of the process so they can lead you efficiently and effectively through the purchase from start to finish. There is a better way. Experience it for yourself at BMW of Fairfield. One price, one person, 1 hour.
Alice at 97.3 is celebrating the return of Alice in Winterland. Friday, December 2nd at the SAP Center in San Jose. Starring John Mayer, One Republic.
See you at Alice in Winterland.
Matt Nathanson. Plus more to be added. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster. Get everything Alice in Winterland at RadioAlice.com.
We're all on this planet together, so join Odyssey and find your one thing. As autumn temperatures get cooler, here are some simple things you can do to help out the environment. Remove any window air conditioners. Check windows and door seals for proper insulation to keep heat in and cold air out. And check your furnace, making sure it's clean, and replace the air filter with a new one to keep it running at peak efficiency all winter long. Join Odyssey. And together, each of us doing one thing makes a greener tomorrow. What's your one thing?
When I can't sleep, my mind just races. I think about work, the kids, but I don't think about taking melatonin because I'm afraid I'll feel groggy in the morning.
ZzzQuil Pure Z's Gummies has an optimal dose of melatonin for no next-day grogginess, so you can fall asleep naturally and wake up feeling refreshed. ZzzQuil Pure Z's Gummies for better sleep like never before. And try Pure Z Sleep Plus Next Day Energy with melatonin plus extended release B vitamins.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Thinking about gas mileage. You know, an oil change with full synthetic oil like Valvoline Advance can help your engine get more miles. Right now, you can get 5 quarts with an STP Extended Life oil filter for only $36.99. Find your solution for better fuel efficiency today at any of our 6,200 stores or on AutoZone.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
95.7 The Game has your tickets to see The Who, October 24th at the SAP Center. For your shot to win, head to our contest page at 957thegame.com.
Now, back to the Morning Roast with Bonte and Shasky.
Welcome back. Brought to you by Golden State Lumber. This segment is brought to you by Golden State Lumber, serving the Bay Area for 3 generations. When you succeed, we succeed. Visit GoldenStateLumber.com. A lot to get to. By the way, Shasky, our guest today, Dave Fleming.
Oh, nice.
Fleming's going to join us at 7:20. Talk a little baseball playoffs and what's going on with the Giants. And then we'll talk to Brad Graham. We know Brad Graham at SF Niners does a great job breaking down the film. We'll talk some 49ers with him at 8:30 this morning.
So as I get older, I start realizing these opportunities are so few and far between, right? And you have these windows in sports. I don't care what sport it is, but it feels like it's hyper sped up in football more than any other. And I look back, like, let's say the Jacksonville Jaguars, right? Just a couple of years ago, and you'd say to yourself, they've got a nucleus.
Right.
They are set.
2017.
They got to just figure out the quarterback thing, and they'll be back year after year after year. And then you look up, and a couple years later, and they're drafting back-to-back #1 overall.
Yeah.
The 49ers with Harbaugh, Hall of Famers. I don't say that lightly. Hall of Famers.
Well, it would have been a lot more Hall of Famers had they got that one Super Bowl ring.
Agreed. But they didn't. And so I think that my mind has sped up to, and I know a lot of people are like, this isn't a video game. No, it's not. But I'm watching the way the Bucs and the Rams have operated in the last couple of years. You get rewarded for being hyper aggressive. Now, can it burn you down the line? Of course it can. But I'd rather go all in and try to seize the moment, because I'm looking around the NFC right now and I'm saying to myself, if you get one more playmaker on offense, that's the difference between falling short and actually getting back to the Super Bowl. Because that's what if you play at the highest level, it's about winning and getting back to the Super Bowl.
And getting back to the Super Bowl is just one game.
Exactly.
One game. And you got to be locked and loaded for that one game, whether it's against Buffalo, Kansas City, Cincinnati. Who the hell knows who's coming out of the AFC? It's going to be a dogfight. But you got to, I'll worry about the Super Bowl. Just get there. Just get there.
And I'll worry about next year.
And my thing is this. When you miss on so many first-round picks,
and
you miss on so many second-round picks.
Now we're talking.
And now you miss on so many third-round picks. The hell with the damn picks. Give me the proven player over the prospect any day of the week. So who's proven out there? Well, McCaffrey's proven. Jacobs is proven. Let's monitor those situations. What about Odell Beckham Jr.? How's he looking coming back from the ACL? I saw his Instagram videos. He's out there busting his ass, working out.
Yes.
Looks like he wants to be back. And OBJ is a problem. He was on his way to having a big-time Super Bowl. We talked about the NFC Championship game. Ucsf gets the ball on 3rd and 1. He gets stuffed. You don't go for it on 4th down. First play, Stafford throws it up the Tart. He drops it. Next play, boom. Beckham Jr., 30 yards. Oh, let's tack out another 15 because Jimmy Ward hit him late. He was a problem in that Super Bowl. I need playmakers. Why not surround Jimmy Garoppolo with a plethora of skill set, position, talented players? They're not using Danny Gray.
And what is Jimmy's skill set? The underneath stuff. That's where McCaffrey kills it.
Right.
Like, he absolutely kills it. I'm looking right now at some of the odds. There's various, websites. Bookie.com, okay? I know it's pretty bad, Bookie.com. Here are the teams that are in the mix in terms of the odds. Buffalo Bills, which we all agree, if the Bills get them, God, they're loaded. Like, they have no weakness.
Right.
All right? Denver? Why would he want to go to Denver?
Right.
Well, because he's from there?
Yeah.
That team looks like it's going nowhere.
They're not going there.
And then the LA.
No, you know why he's Denver? Because he's from Colorado.
Yeah.
And McCaffrey, he won high school championships there.
That's it. And then the LA Rams, the Tampa Bay Bucks, and the 49ers. So you're telling me, if I look at this and I just take the Broncos off, the Buffalo Bills in the AFC, I don't want them to go to Buffalo because that's a team that I may have to go through at some point. The Rams and the Bucks, if one of those teams get them, that could be the difference between you hosting a NFC Championship game at Levi Stadium or you going on the road again.
And the last thing you need is Tom Brady to have a Christian McCaffrey. Think of James White.
Thank you.
Think of Deion Lewis. Think of Kevin Falk.
He loves the little white guys. Have you seen Amendola and Edelman and Wes
not only
Welker?
that, but not only that, Amendola, I'm just talking about the running backs.
Yes, no doubt.
Coming out of the backfield. James White was the damn MVP. He'll check it down all day long to McCaffrey, and he'll get 10 catches for 130 yards on your ass, and you're thinking to yourself, damn,
exactly.
We got to guard Mike Williams deep, or Mike Evans deep. What are we doing? Chris Godwin's going deep on us. Oh, wait, underneath, there's Fournette, and there's freaking McCaffrey. So I don't want him going to those teams.
And to your point, everyone's like, oh, you got to hoard the draft picks. I get that. This team is about winning right now. Like that was the whole argument on a lot of people against Trey Lance.
Right.
I don't want to wait. I want to win now. Well, guess what? Trey's not in the fold now. So now let's pivot.
And what was the first thing they said once Trey Lance got hurt? Hours after he got hurt in that locker room. Well, quietly, Jimmy gives us a better chance to win.
Well,
and when you say win, you say win the whole damn thing.
Exactly. So if you're a team that's operating in that way, why wouldn't you want to add to what you have and try to get another playmaker? You referenced the first-round picks, and we're just using first-round picks.
Right.
First year, they take Solly and Reuben Foster. Okay, McGlinchey, you know where I stand on McGlinchey, right? He's fine, but he's not a first-round number 10 overall pick. 2019, great selection in Nick Bosa.
Right.
All right? Kinlaw, look, he's got 1.5 sacks in 3 years.
Question mark Kinlaw, question mark Ayuk. Because you don't even use I think Ayuk had before the season, I thought Ayuk was going to have a Jordan Poole-like ascension.
I did too.
Jordan Poole went from year 2 to year 3 to where he just became a playmaker. And you're like, damn, we can't win without Jordan Poole, right? Ayuk, I thought, was going to have that leap. Was going to have that leap. And now I'm just thinking to myself, all right, Jimmy Garoppolo threw the ball 30 times, but Ayuk, 3 catches. He's walking off the field with 5 targets. It was like Amari Cooper when he was a Raider. Amari Cooper sometimes walk off that field, that infield dirt at the Coliseum, 2 targets. And I'm thinking to myself, Amari Cooper's too damn good to only have 2 targets against the freaking San Diego Chargers. Back then, San Diego Chargers, now they're LA Chargers. Yeah. But that's the same thing with Ayuk. I leave these games and I'm thinking, all right, Kittle's not getting targets. Debo's getting all these targets, but they're all underneath. It's not working. Yeah. Debo's had a couple games where Chicago game he had, 8 targets, 2 catches. Last game he had 9 targets, 2 catches. Teams are on him.
Well, no doubt. And also teams are gunning on Debo. So, if you want to open these 2 players up, you add another weapon to the mix. To me, it's not a bad thing. And I hear people on asset allocation, you can't spend this, you can't spend that. Man, if you ain't going to spend with this core right now, then I guess you're never going to. And what's the point of having somebody who's the financial wizard in Parag Marathe if he can't pull any of his magic when my team is great and I want to add to the mix?
Yep, no doubt. Hey, 650, you're right. Xfinity Mobile Text line, he said, Bonte said, get a proven player. Reminds me of the Giants. Get a proven bat. We want winners. We want proven talent. And this, when you haven't won the Super Bowl since 94, 95, if you knocked on the doorstep 2 of the last 3 years, and you look at this conference, and I'm saying, Green Bay.
Exactly.
Jokes.
Thank you.
I'll take my chances against the New York Giants. Cowboys, they could be a problem.
Well, but they could be a problem. But if you get someone like McCaffrey, you feel a lot better going up against that kind of a defense.
Philadelphia.
Or even OBJ.
Philadelphia, I need firepower.
100%.
That may be a shootout.
They're going to drop 30.
You know what I'm saying? A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, Miles Sanders, Jalen Hurts, they're a problem. And what kills the Niners? Mobile quarterbacks. Jalen Hurts would be a problem. But outside of that, okay, you got Tom Brady, but I like our defensive line against Tom Brady and the Bucs. You can hit him all day long.
He's got a lot of problems.
It's got a lot of issues in Tampa Bay, and it's Todd Bowles coaching. All right, I don't believe in Todd Bowles. This conference is so damn wide open, and you got a top-flight defense, one of the best defenses we've seen in the last decade. I'm all for going all in. To hell with these picks. Again, you failed on third-round picks. You failed on second-round picks. You failed on first-round picks. Maybe take a page out of the Rams book.
That's all.
Let's go win the whole damn thing.
That's exactly it. And if you do win it all, you reap all the rewards.
Everything.
I'll worry about the cap and all that stuff next year. Yeah. Again, it went up $26 million this year. They had 3 games in London. You don't think they're going to explode the cap over the next couple of years? You're tripping.
And you restructured Jimmy Garoppolo and Trent Williams. So you got some money there. All right, we got a break here. Love is we're driving them crazy. What's coming up on the game? Sponsored by Fremont Bank. Full service banking, no compromises. Dave Fleming, 720. King of the Hill coming up next on the Morning Roast. King of the Hill, this week's NFC rankings. We'll get into that as well as some Golden State Warriors basketball. That's all coming up on the Morning Roast here on 95.7 The Game.
Today, the Warriors rookies are live in studio with Damon and Ratto.
The Golden State Warriors select Patrick Baldwin Jr.
Patrick Baldwin Jr. and Ryan Rollins are hanging out with Damon and Ratto live in studio.
How about an NBA comparison to Ryan Rollins? Maybe like a CJ McCollum?
Today, only on 95.7 The Game.
Fremont Bank. If there's one thing we understand more than anybody, it's that it takes a local bank to really get the needs of local businesses. Fremont Bank has the flexibility and motivation to service your business loan needs like other banks can't or won't. With our full suite of business loan products and recognition as a top SBA lender in the Bay Area, Fremont Bank is the right choice for local and family-owned businesses. Fremont Bank. Learn more at fremontbank.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Attention, guys. By now, you should know that when it comes to meal enhancement pills, most of these contain the same ingredients that are repackaged over and over again. Why take the same old when you can perform in the bedroom with confidence at the highest level? That's why Noxitril needs to be on your bedstand. If you thought that the little blue pill works well, wait till you try Noxitril. It's like Viagra on steroids. Thousands of men each week have switched from that prescription blue pill to Noxitril. That's because Noxitril is automatic. No need to worry anymore. When it's time to perform, we've got this. Explosive results you can count on with no side effects, no stuffy nose. We want every man to try Noxitril, so call now and take advantage of our special free bottle offer today. Oh, and as a reminder, please use the Noxitril dose as directed. It's that strong.
Call right now and get your free supply. Call 800-486-1608. That's 800-486-1608. It's like Viagra on steroids. Improve your sex life with your free supply. Call 800-486-1608. That's 1-800-486-1608.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-200-1966. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-200-1966. That's 800-200-1966 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-200-1966. 800-200-1966.
UCSF Sports Medicine Center is dedicated to treating every type of athlete, from kids to adults, amateurs to elite professionals. As one of the best orthopedic programs in the nation, UCSF has programs to optimize an athlete's performance and the latest advancements to treat the most complex sports injuries. With locations throughout the Bay Area, now including Marin, Walnut Creek, and Redwood Shores, it's even easier to make an appointment today. Visit ucsfhealth.org so you can get cleared to play. UCSF Health, redefining possible.
Now it's time for the closer of the week. Presented by LiftMaster and R&S Doors. Turn your garage into the envy of the neighborhood. Visit rnsdoors.com.
The closer of the week is Tevin Coleman, who scored a touchdown on the ground and one in the air.
Spilling in, Tevin Coleman, the veteran.
He's back with the Niners, and he's back in the end zone.
Recently, my garage door opener was not working. I was in need of a closer. I was put in touch with R&S Doors, and they hooked me up with a brand new garage door opener from LiftMaster. With LiftMaster's MyQ connectivity, my garage door opener can be controlled right from my smartphone. You'll know when a door or gate has been left open and can close it with a tap, no matter where I am. Be one of the first 10 callers and receive 20% off a LiftMaster garage door opener when you purchase a premium garage door.
Call 1-800-FIX-A-DOOR. That's 800-FIX-A-DOOR. Or visit rsdoors.com. R&S Doors. Look for the red truck.
This Hispanic Heritage Month, the Multicultural Institute is celebrating 31 years in the community. That's 31 years of experience coming together to support and uplift each other. The Multicultural Institute connects day laborers and domestic workers with employers to ensure dignity while also providing comprehensive year-round services for the Bay Area's low-income Latinx community. To hire a day laborer or learn more about the Multicultural Institute, visit their website at mionline.org. That's mionline.org.
Get a cash offer for your car, truck, or SUV today at your local Bay Area Chevy dealers. Selling has never been easier. Just bring it into a Bay Area Chevy dealer, get a free appraisal, and we'll make you a cash offer on the spot with no obligation to buy. We buy any make or model, paid off or not. Find your local Chevy dealer at BayAreaChevroletDealers.com.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you 24/7 with supplies and solutions for every industry and access to product specialists ready to help. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Let me guess. Unknown caller? You could reduce the number of unwanted calls and emails with online privacy protection. The latest innovation from Discover will help regularly remove your personal info, like your name and address, from 10 popular people search websites that could sell your data. And we'll do it for free. Activate in the Discover app. See terms and learn more at discover.com/online privacy protection.
Hey, it's Boomer Esiason, and we all know the game isn't over till it's over. So next time you need parts for your car, don't call it quits. Go to eBay Motors. They have 122 million parts to take your car into overtime. Get the right parts at the right prices. ebaymotors.com. Let's ride.
Now, back to the morning roast with Bonte and Shasky.
Niners here. Little Niner football. Should they go all in this year? 888-957-9570. What are Niner fans at? We've been heavy Warriors this week. Niner fans, you going all in this year? And what does all in look like? Does it look like Christian McCaffrey? Does it look like signing Odell Beckham Jr.? This league is wide open, especially the NFC. Wide open, and you got a great defense.
We do this thing in sports. So-and-so is injury prone. Like, we do this all the time, right? The Christian McCaffrey thing, he's injury prone, and I'll get to him in a second. Is Deebo Samuel injury prone, Bonte?
I mean, I feel like he gets nicked up, but all football players do at this point.
When you play like football, like it's just bound to happen.
And how many years what I wonder is how many times in Carolina, we have a Panthers fan in the YouTube chat. What's his name? _187_.
Yeah.
He's a Panthers fan.
Yeah.
And he did make a great point that, hey, I'm in Charlotte. We're not trading with the Tampa Bay Bucks. Division rivals. Makes sense. But
I was just giving you the bookies.com information.
But no, I got that same thing too, which was interesting. Buffalo does still like a favorite, man.
Yeah.
Buffalo gets him. Woo. But when it comes to Christian McCaffrey, how many years did the Panthers just shut him down?
Well, that's
when they were out of it.
I have all the injury history here. So for Deebo Samuel, real quick, just to make things nice and succinct, he played in 15 games, came out of a couple his rookie year, and then obviously all the playoff games, okay? So he came out of a couple games there. 2020, it was an injury-riddled season. He came in dinged up, and he stayed dinged up pretty much the whole year. And he only played 7 games, parts of 7 games. And then the following year, last year, he played in 16 of the 17 during the regular season, and then obviously all of them in the playoffs, and he's a gladiator. I don't think he's injury prone. I think the way he plays, he's just, sometimes he's going to take shots. You know, when you're going between the tackles and when you're getting blasted by linebackers, that happens. So he's basically not played a complete full NFL season. Now, Christian McCaffrey, been in the league a little longer, all right? In college, he missed one game.
Yep.
One game in 3 years. One game. That was a hip against the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. And then he had a high ankle sprain, missed some games. This is in 2020 where everybody was hurt. And then hurt his shoulder on the final play of the game, on the final drive against the Chiefs, missed some time. They just shut him down. He came back. They shut him down after that. Last year, he had the ankle and the hamstring, but he's played almost every single game outside of those. He has 2 complete seasons, 2 where he was injured, and then he's played all the games this year. And to your point, my question is, how much on the stretch you get, like week 12, week 13, and it seems like, we need the draft picks.
Yeah. Well, I'm seeing Ahmad Z. We don't need McCaffrey. Elijah Mitchell's coming back. Well, that's cool. But I hope he has the same burst back. It's just about getting playmakers here.
Yeah.
I just want playmakers.
I'm with you.
I want more playmakers. Now, when you look at this Atlanta game, and they're going to have to lean on these playmakers because I'm worried about the defense this week. There may be no Bosa. Armstead's already ruled out. Kinlaw, we have no idea about. Ebukam didn't practice yesterday. So now all of a sudden your deepest position group, the defensive line, is taking some hits.
Yeah.
Where's the pass rush going to be this week?
It feels like they've hit a few years ago. Remember DBs, cluster injuries?
Yep.
Doesn't it feel like defensive line, which was the depth of this team, cluster injuries? That could do you in.
And not only that, when you look at Atlanta coming off a loss to Tampa Bay and the way they came off that loss, they're going to be attacking. Now, Kyle Pitts practiced yesterday. I know he hasn't had much production this year. Had the one game where he had like 5 catches. But other than that, he's been quiet. But he's a problem.
I like him as a prospect.
I like him. I
like him and Drake London.
Hey, look, there's no Emmanuel Mosley. All right? So, Moody Ward's going to be on Drake London. Who's going to be guarding Kyle Pitts?
He's a big physical
Hufanga,
player.
that's a big-time matchup.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
It's a big X-factor matchup right there. But they got some players in Atlanta. And their defense is flying around, hitting people. I mean, they held Tampa Bay to 21. I know Tampa Bay's got some issues of their own, but this ain't no gimme game.
No.
This isn't a gimme game. Get me to 4-2 with all these injuries. So I'm looking at the long-term scope. And you know how I love to look at it down the line at the schedule.
Binocular Bonte.
I'm looking down the line at the schedule. I'm saying, damn. They just take care of the football.
I know.
This is easily a 10-11 win team. And now people may say, well, just like you guys believe in Garoppolo? Well, we know what Garoppolo could do with this team.
Yeah.
We know what Garoppolo could do with this team.
The question mark isn't regular season. It's once you get to the postseason and things crank up a little.
Can you make a throw on 3rd down?
Which I will live with if we can get through where we're at right now. But here's the other thing, B. Like, if Debo goes down right now, if Ayuk goes down right now, if Jeff Wilson Jr. goes down right now. So I just keep thinking about playmakers and moving the ball. As much as this is a defensive league, and we all agree, you got to have playmakers.
You got to have offense.
And you've got to find a way to make it easy for Jimmy Garoppolo right now on all the check down stuff. And I would love to add another weapon, whether that be Odell Beckham, which wouldn't cost you any draft picks, whether that be Christian McCaffrey or something else. I'm all in for the now. I'm with you.
I want to go all in. By the way, we got a Warriors talk, Warriors question here, because we haven't gotten to the Warriors, and we will. Because I want to ask you something about Draymond Green, Jordan Poole, because yesterday we took a lot of calls about Draymond Green. And there's a lot of people out on Draymond. A lot of Warrior fans out on Draymond. I joined Roz Mathai last Friday on KNTV, NBC Bay Area, and he asked me, on your show, how many calls did you take about Draymond Green, and how many people were out on him? And this was last Friday. And I said, Roz, to be honest with you, about 80% of the calls were out on Draymond Green. Well, yesterday, it felt like that number went up.
Yeah.
It went up. And I get it. He doesn't get suspended. He hits Jordan Poole. And my thing is, how does Jordan Poole feel? We haven't heard from him. How does he feel about the situation? Can he play with them? But also, if this is the last right with Draymond Green, because he's going to be there on ring night, he's not going to get suspended. They handled it in-house. Whether you disagree with that, I get it. I get all of it. But how are we going to remember Draymond Green? Because if I asked you, how would you remember T.O.? What would you say?
For me or
Yeah,
for
for
just
you.
the average
For you.
fan? Okay, so I love T.O. because at that age, I was coming of age as T.O. started to ball.
Right.
And he felt more like my guy. Whereas Jerry Rice was like
the older generation.
Yeah, my dad. Even though I love Jerry Rice,
Right,
you know
right,
I do.
right,
But like that was my dad's guy.
So, like-
you know what I mean? T.O. was my guy, and he was defiant, and I was defiant, and he was anti-authority, and I loved everything about that. And to me, he was a player that ushered in from the championship era to
Right.
the new era where it just felt like there was a void. And he was that guy that filled that void. And he also brought forth like that diva wide receiver that we all see now and love.
But
a lot of
it is
people didn't
funny.
like him, B.
A lot of people didn't like him.
And I think a lot of people still don't like him.
T.O. did a lot of things.
No, he was amazing.
He was a malcontent. Team obliterator, Skip Bayless, let's say. He was a nightmare in the locker room. He's yelling at offensive coordinators.
I think he's the second. I think he's the second best wide receiver ever. That's just me.
I mean, I got him
in terms of route tree blocking, the way he played the game. You know, the coverage that I saw him dictate. Jerry's number one, and for my money, you could disagree. And
no, I don't disagree.
I think T.O. is the second best receiver ever.
Because the problem with those teams later on was they didn't have a number 2 receiver.
Exactly.
T.O. saw doubles and triples and still balled out.
Vontae, I've watched the highlights over and over and over on T.O. And I
T.O.'s
remember them.
unbelievable.
Well, two things stick out. Number one, T.O. was an absolute freak. He could take a 5-yard slant with two dudes jamming him, all right, and then just go.
What about Monday Night Football against the New York Giants? He takes a 5-yard hitch and goes 80 yards.
First quarter of the wild card game against the New York Giants, where he goes 85 yards, and he's got Jason Sehorn on his back.
So think about how you remember.
And the other takeaway, Jeff Garcia was freaking amazing.
Yeah, he was.
We've
amazing.
forgotten how good he was.
But so think about how you remember T.O. And Draymond's a 4-time champion.
Yeah.
The Niners ain't winning these Super Bowls with Terrell Owens.
No.
T.O. doesn't have a ring.
No.
Draymond's a 4-time champion. So what I was trying to do last night is saying, okay, because unfortunately, Big Dog City, some really good friends of mine, lost somebody very close in their life. And I want to keep I know that it's their privacy, so I don't want to name names or anything like that. I want to keep that, kind of personal. But they lost somebody. And I was down at the hospital the other day, and I'm seeing them, and basically had 24 hours to live. And struggling, right? Struggling. I'm saying to myself, I'm not going to remember him like that. I'm going to remember him from the good times. I'm going to remember him for all the great things he did in this world, for what he did for youth, what he did for the inner cities, what he did for coaches. I'm going to remember him from that, not the last few days of his life. So I'm sure you got people that's passed away and you feel the same way. I'm not going to remember him for that.
My grandma. I mean, she withered away at the end, sadly, and was the shell of herself. I have a photo, the last photo I took with her, and I don't even want to think about it. It makes me super sad.
So, when it comes to Draymond Green, I don't want to remember him for the Jordan Poole punch. It's going to be there. It's going to be there. The KD situation, it's going to always be there. But I do at some point, I think 10 years from now, I want to say, you know what, Draymond Green, damn, you see those 5 banners? You see those 4 banners? Man, those championships, those great games. That's what I want to remember him for. And I know it's hard to say right now. It is very hard to say.
It's a good point.
But because this, to me, Shasky, it's starting to feel like the last ride with Draymond Green. It really is.
No, I'm with you on that. It absolutely does. On the point of T.O., I think we can agree in terms of their impact on the sport, in terms of their greatness, not winning, but their impact on the sport. I mean, T.O. was better at his sport than what Draymond is, and I'm not knocking Draymond. We're talking about two greats, right?
No doubt.
But, T.O., I think, won a lot of people over by playing in that Super Bowl the way he did, with the broken leg, coming back and dominating the way he did. And I think he also burned a lot of people by
next year
throwing people under the bus, and what he did with with Donovan McNabb.
Think about the next year. He goes to the Super Bowl, lost his money, and he's doing sit-ups in the driveway.
I know, and he has 21 million.
And he's deactivated midway through the year.
No doubt. I mean, that's what people think about when it comes to T.O.
The Cowboys situation.
Even Niner fans, I do believe there's a large segment of Niner fans out there that are like, that guy's a punk, right? A lot of people feel that way. But I'll tell you this, 20 years removed, and he left us about 20 years ago, he showed up at midfield when he got inducted into the Ring of Honor.
Right.
Unanimous applause. And people our age were like, that's one of my favorite players of all time. And I do think over time, similar to Draymond Green, I actually think Draymond's way more beloved than T.O. was ever beloved.
Right.
Which is crazy to say.
It's crazy, right?
Because of the championship and the pedigree. But I also think the relationship, in a weird way, might be more complicated.
Yep, no doubt. That's well said. Well said. Let's go to Andre, Portola Valley. Portola Valley, Andre, what's happening? You're on the roast.
Hey, what's up, Monte?
What's up, baby?
Hey, so I wanted to call and just let you know I'm a fan.
Okay.
And I know basketball season starts next week, and you're going to be on TV representing with your fellas. I'm trying to find out if you're going to be representing in the wardrobe department.
Oh, was I not representing last year, Andre?
Or do you work for an outfit distributor?
Yeah.
No, I kind of watch the shows. I enjoy the shows, and now that, I always watch you guys after the game and before the game, and I just kind of see how people put together clothes, put together wardrobes. I'm one of them guys.
So how do I put together? Well,
I appreciate.
How do I put together the clothes? Well, I don't really put them together. My better half puts them together. How would you rate me? What grade would you give me, Andre? Because this is big. I put a lot of stuff in the cleaners yesterday. Okay. It's go time.
Well, you are getting better. And
Where do I need help with, Andre? Because obviously you call up with some advice.
Well, I'm just checking it out. I love how y'all do what you do. So I'm I'm a big fan.
I appreciate that.
I'm just looking forward to hearing, to seeing you guys represent the Bay Area. Just like they do on First Take, just like they do on.
I appreciate that.
Some of those guys need some help too.
Yeah, no doubt. I appreciate that, Andre. I appreciate that.
Now I know
wardrobe talk.
Yeah, wardrobe talk. I know we keep seeing this Stephon Diggs. I am him. I am him.
Everybody's doing it now. That's jumped the shark now.
It has, but it reminds me of the T.O. Who can make a play? I can make a play. I can make a play, which was actually coined in the overtime game against Atlanta in 2001, ironically, where he did make a play in overtime, a 50-yard touchdown pass to end that game.
Then when it was an Eagle, he goes, I love me some me. Believe it. And then, of course, he had the T.O. dance.
The Ray Lewis dance is still all time. So here's what I'm thinking, B. I think you should come on the stage and go, I am him. I am him. Dressed and ready to go. I love me some me.
People saying I need to dress like Tom Tolbert. I can't wear shorts on the set. Shorts and T-shirts.
Well, Vontae's not a skateboarder.
Yeah, well, I can't
in
wear
his
shorts.
60s.
And I can't wear beanies.
Washed.
No, don't leave Tom Tolbert alone. The voice. He'll be back on 95.7 The Game this year with Sim Roy. You're listening to 95.7 The Game. KGMZ, FM, and HD1 San Francisco, always live on the free Odyssey app. Download the Odyssey app and favorite 95.7 The Game for the best and most up-to-date sports coverage. And do not forget that you can also watch us every day on our YouTube and Twitch streams. Just log out and search 95.7 The Game. Before we get to King of the Hill, let's get to Coach and Vallejo. Coach, what's happening?
Hey, good morning, guys. Glad you got to me. Did you happen to see the comment from Draymond's mother to Sleepy Floyd on Twitter?
Yeah, I'm uncomfortable talking about his mom, honestly, because I think my family would be caping up for me no matter what I did wrong. I'm a little uncomfortable going after any of the family. I think it's personally off limits, even though she put it out publicly.
And you know what? Personally, I love Mary Babers Green. She rocks with the Warriors. She's riding for the Warriors. Yeah, she gets the Twitter fingers moving, but she's been good to me. She's been good to the station. We had her on last year. Remember, we had her on last year before Game 4 of the Finals. She's like, I don't know what be getting into my son. He gives me anxiety. So she's not the only one. That's his own mama. She's got anxiety watching him play. We're fans. We're irrational. We get anxiety watching him play. So I'm not going to leave his mom alone. What do you expect her to do? Somebody's got to ride for him.
That's what I'm saying.
His mom can't sell him out down the river. All right, let's go. King of the Hill, love it. Let's go. Sorry about that. You could edit that. My bad.
Gather round, all you fanatics of sports.
I was laughing at it. Skittle coming down my throat.
It's time for Lord Bonte of House Hill to decree the finest 8 football teams in all the NFC. For this is King of the Hill.
Bonte, you are nobody, my dude.
On 95.7 The Game.
Oh, my gosh. I just ran into somebody who knew Dame. I was like, oh, my boy Dame. Where the hell? Oh, man. It'll come back to me.
Hey, Dame got my favorite Twitter account. When he comments on somebody, I'm like, you don't understand who you're messing with.
Yeah, and then when he starts talking about the Raiders, he came at me. He was like, oh, Bonte, you said a nice thing about the Raiders? Like, come on, Dame, I'm no hater. He talks about chop blocks. He's actually very, very, he knows his Raiders. He knows football.
He has the most intimidating avatar on Twitter.
Like I said,
the profile pic looks like he's going to punch me in the face.
Like I said, Dame is bald by choice. He made a choice to be bald. All right? Don't mess with dudes like that. All right, King of the Hill. By the way, John Sackey, what's happening? Said it's cardigan season.
Oh, is it cardigan season?
We'll probably wait,
Mr. Rogers.
We'll wait till the springtime for that. Maybe springtime.
I don't think it's that cold enough.
Yeah, it's not cold enough for the cardigans.
Yeah. You know, one thing I don't want you to do, and I know it's a popular look now, don't do the sweatshirt with the sport coat over. I think that's a very odd look.
With the little V-neck sweater?
No, people wear like a sweatshirt. Like Jay Will does this a lot, where he wears
like a hoodie?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not doing. I never do.
You know
what
I'm saying?
Yeah, the hoodie
with
under the blazer. Yeah, I don't do that.
Just doesn't
That's
look
not my
right.
swag. That's not my swag. Not my swag at all. I'm got to figure out what I'm wearing for Tuesday. Ring night, baby. Ring night. I'll let the roasters pick an outfit. How about that? Let the roasters pick out an outfit. Y'all can put together my suit, tie, shoe combination. And no, I don't think I'm going to do Gucci's on ring night. I can't do it. All right, real quick, Lubman. Real quick, number 7.
Number 7.
The Green Bay Packers. You go overseas. You lose to the New York Giants. You blow a 17-point lead. All right? You don't score anything in the second half. You have Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon, and yet Aaron Rodgers wants to chuck it to some unproven wide receivers. He has no respect for Matt LaFleur. Packers in trouble. Packers, number 7.
Number 6.
Got a problem with the Vikings. Justin Jefferson looked all world last week.
Yes, he did.
But you know what? They're going life and death. I can't really slander the Chicago Bears because they beat the Niners, and that's a divisional game. But the Vikings just always want to play in these close games. They don't put teams away. I think they're a little fraudulent, personally. Kirk Cousins having a nice season. I think he started like 13-13 last week.
Yeah, it was the best of his career to start off
he was just lighting them up. But you know what? Vikings number 6. I don't think too highly of the NFC North. Moving on to number 5.
Number 5.
All right, Love is looking for the number. He's like locked in.
He's completely rattled.
New York Giants.
Number 5.
What?
Who the hell is that?
What? Is that Elena?
That was not the number 5 I thought it was.
That's Elena.
That's got Townie written all over it from back in the day, doesn't it?
The G-Boost?
Yeah.
New York Giants. Big win. Saquon looks good. Daniel Jones was comparable.
Yeah.
Don't sleep on the New York Football Giants. They're my number 5 team this week in the NFC Power Rankings. Number 4. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Bay, we got love it on it.
I don't know what's going on.
I can't find where Spadoni keeps all of his numbers. He's got like 20 boards I have to sort through.
It's all good.
Number 4.
Number 4. We'll handle it. Tampa Bay Buccaneers struggling, number 4. But look.
4 horsemen.
Arn Anderson.
Yeah, I look at you.
Ric Flair.
Look at us.
Who else? Who's it? Oh, Chris Benoit. Well, yeah.
We're not allowed to bring him up.
Let me not even do that. All right. Moving on to number 3.
I went deep diving on him.
Horrible human being.
Yeah.
Horrible human being. Number 3.
San
Francisco 49ers.
Wow. Number 3?
Number 3.
Is it because of the injuries that they're so low?
Wow, dude.
I thought people would think they're too high on this list.
No.
Because they haven't beaten anybody good.
Oh, come on.
All right. Number 2.
Number 2.
The Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, how about them Cowboys?
I feel like we're going to see a Cowboys-Niners NFC Championship this year. I really do. Whether it's at Jerry's World or Levi's Stadium. Let's hope it's at Levi's. Nobody wants to fly to Dallas, Texas. We don't want to do that.
I kind of want to go this year, though.
You want to go to Jerry's World?
Well, I mean, I'd rather have the game here. But yeah,
let's have the game here.
Yeah.
I don't want to do Jerry's World.
I'm worried. Their defense feels better than last year.
Yeah, in that place. They do got a little home field advantage there, even though there's a lot of Niner fans. They got loud there in that fourth quarter.
Dak or Cooper Rush.
I got rattled in that fourth. Jimmy threw that pick in the wild card game. I was like, oh, boy. I talked too much smack. Way too much smack. All right, number 1. Fly, Eagles, fly. Fly, Eagles, fly. What a way to Glendale, Arizona, down in the desert.
Let's go.
Eagles 5-0. And they play the Dallas Cowboys this Sunday. That's going to be a fun game at the Link in the 215 in Philadelphia. So power rankings this week, NFC only. NFC only. Green Bay, number 7. Minnesota, number 6. Giants, 5. Tampa, 4. Niners, 3. Cowboys, 2. And the Philadelphia Eagles, number 1. You see it on the YouTube screen. You see it all over Twitch. You see the rankings right there. Niners, number 3. What do you think about that? We'll get to Dave Fleming on the other side. King of the Hills. Why are you smiling?
No, it's so good. I love it.
Well, I'm just on a roll.
I'm just blown away how good the Giants are this year. Like, you were on this early. You were on this account early, and I can't really have a counter argument.
You know, I may have stole that from Big Dog, too, because he kind of talks some shit to me. He's like, man, you can't sleep on the New York Giants before the season. I was like,
Daniel Jones has thrown for over 200 once, and yet they're 4-1.
4-1. Do what you got to do. It's all about wins.
Exactly.
All about Kaepernick, his second year, third year, had like a string of games where he only threw for over 100 yards.
Montana averaged like 220 throughout his career.
I don't care how many yards you throw for. Win the game.
Yes.
Win the game.
You play to win the game.
Brad Graham, 8:30. Dave Fleming coming up to talk some baseball. And we'll move on and get to the Warriors again and the Niners. Don't worry. But we got to get our man Flem on. It's been a while. Dave Fleming joined us, sponsored by Fremont Bank, full service banking. No compromises.
Opening night is less than a week away.
Flash! There it is! The best shooter the game has ever seen has cemented his legacy. No one has made more threes than Stephen Curry.
Hear every three. Oh my God! Every splash.
Flash for Clay.
And every moment.
Good! It's good! Madness in San Antonio.
The home of the champs. 95-7 the game.
Kirby! It's your driveway mechanic, and they bring the shop to you. And our friends over at Kirby just won the Motor Top 20 Award for innovation. Brakes and tire replacements, oil changes, and so much more. And they've added Kirby's eco-friendly wash. I used it, and it barely uses any water, but it made my car look so brand new. They use all biodegradable products that provide the ultimate shine and protection to both the exterior and interior of your car, all in the ease of your driveway. The ultimate convenience, easy booking, transparent pricing, on-time arrival, service in your driveway. No waiting rooms, no coordinating rides, direct access to your mechanic. Friendly, reliable service, no middlemen, and no upsells. Get $50 off your first oil change with the code OIL50. That's OIL50. Or use the code JOEWASH, JOEWASH, to get a free sealant treatment with the purchase of Kirby's eco-friendly wash. Check out Kirby.com. That's CURBEE.com. Or call 1-866-KIRBY-1.
Dr. Trudy Fleer here with the 5G Home Recovery Podcast. Let's discuss a very real existential threat to internet speed. It's a big one. Ready? T-Mobile Home Internet. It lags. Now, what is lag? Lag is a delay in data being transmitted across the internet. For example, you're hitting that hot drop, the parachute cuts out, you've got an unsuspecting bot in your sights, and lag! You were actually eliminated 10 seconds ago. Nobody deserves that. So stop letting T-Mobile Home Internet ruin everything and switch to Xfinity. Learn more at xfinity.com/TMOFax.
Get an amazing value on Xfinity Internet with unlimited data included. Switch for $55 a month for 2 full years with no annual contract required and no equipment fees for 24 months. Go to xfinity.com/TMOFax, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store to learn more. Requires paperless billing and autopay. Ends 10/17/22. Restrictions apply. New fast internet and xFi Complete customers only. xFi Gateway required. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. After 24 months, regular rates apply to all services and devices.
Everything, our farm, our stand, our pop-up shop, it really all started when we discovered the benefits of local, raw honey for our family.
And then we decided to turn it into a business.
We were looking for something to help us get up and running.
So we got the Chase Business Complete Banking Account.
It's more than a bank account. It comes with Quick Accept, which lets us take card payments anytime, anywhere in the U.S. using the Chase mobile app. Plus, we get same-day deposits at no extra cost. For us, it's more than honey. It's about sharing a little sweetness with the world.
Get the Chase Business Complete Banking Account with the essentials you need to help get your business going. Learn more at chase.com/business-complete-banking. Chase for business. Make more of what's yours. Quick Accept is not available in U.S. territories. Enrollment required. Usage subject to approval. Same-day deposits available for payments before 8 p.m. Eastern Time, Sunday to Friday. Fees and rates apply for checking and processing. Limitations and restrictions apply. Participants compensated. Merchant services provided by Payment Tech LLC and WePay Inc. Subsidiaries of J.P. Morgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC.
Do you think all premium fuels are the same? Well, your engine doesn't. Shell V-Power Nitro Plus helps keep your engine running like new because it's engineered to defend against 4 main engine threats: gunk, wear, corrosion, and friction. So next time, choose Shell's most advanced fuel ever. It's fuel for thought. In engines that continuously use Shell V-Power Nitro Plus Premium Gasoline.
If you're a professional builder or designer, here's some good news from Golden State Lumber. Their relationships with Capital Lumber, Cal Cascade, Humboldt Sawmill, and others have led to an increase in lumber inventory. Golden State strives to deliver most materials the next day, if not the same day. Be sure to download the Golden State app, which provides access to hundreds of resources. Find it at goldenstatelumber.com. For 3 generations, Golden State. When you succeed, we succeed.
It's the bottom of the 9th, the game's on the line, and your small business needs a loan fast. What's your move? Go to OnDeck.com, America's largest online small business lender. With OnDeck, you can apply in minutes, and if approved, get your funds as soon as the same day. Go to OnDeck.com. Your loan is on deck. Depending on certain loan attributes, your business loan may be issued by OnDeck or Celtic Bank, a Utah Chartered Industrial Bank member FDIC. Limited eligibility for same-day funding. OnDeck does not lend in every state. All loans subject to lender approval.
From Carriage House to glass aluminum doors, RNS Doors has a full line of commercial and residential garage doors and gates to suit anyone's taste and budget. Visit rsdoors.com. RNS Doors. Look for the red truck.
For all contest rules, go to 957thegame.com/rules.
When people have a craving to explore new and traditional Asian cuisines, they head to P.F. Chang's, where scratch-made dishes come from the 2,000-year-old tradition of wok cooking. P.F. Chang's wanted to explore new possibilities for their website. They turned to AmericanEagle.com. AmericanEagle.com re-architected P.F. Chang's website, integrating multiple third-party systems to create a unified digital experience. The results? Improved page speed and performance, personalized content based on users' location, intuitive online ordering, an increase in organic search visibility, and a 40% increase in new users. For scratch-made Asian cuisine, visit your local P.F. Chang's or go to pfchangs.com for website design, development, digital marketing, and hosting that produce efficiency, revenue, and results. Visit AmericanEagle.com. P.F. Chang's and AmericanEagle.com. Another example of the best businesses in the world, turning to the best in the business for websites. Go to AmericanEagle.com or call 877-WEB-NOW1. That's 877-WEB-NOW1.
Now, back to the morning roast with Bonte and Shasky.
It's kind of like watching Lubman behind the glass because he just looks rattled all day long. Producer Sam Lubman. I mean, he is just like, he's got the headphones up. He's looking. The eyes are wide open. He's locked in, man. He was locked in on the playoffs last night, too. Rooting against the Dodgers. Against the Dodgers as they lose 5-3 against the Pods in Game 2 of that series. Really good MLB playoffs so far. Had some walk-offs, had some dramatic comebacks, some upsets. A lot of fun so far, even though the Giants are not in it. And we'll talk to Dave Fleming, one of the many great voices of the San Francisco Giants and college football, of course, and golf. You can name the list. College basketball. Flip, where have you been? We missed you, man. We missed you. What's going on?
Well, since it's the morning roast, I just finished grinding my coffee beans this morning. We're on a little earlier, so here I am.
There you go. There you go. By the way, Dave Fleming is presented by the County of Santa Clara. Book a COVID-19 booster shot now at secfreevax.org or call 211. I know we've had to push you back a couple times because we got hijacked a little bit by the Draymond Green, Jordan Poole situation. We'll get your thoughts on that in just a second. But the Giants, as they end the season, they finished 81-81. They finished 81-81. They finished strongly there. Anything they can take away going into next season after that strong finish in September?
Sure, I think so. I mean, I think number one, they evaluated some young guys who performed down the stretch. And so it gives you a better sense of, okay, can David VR help us in a certain role? Can Cole Waits help us? Joey Bart, what was his progress at the end of the year? Not that they had a flood of younger players, but you get a chance to see some of them. And I think that's always helpful. I think one thing that it proved is this team is not into the idea of tanking at all. And that's not what they're going to do, even though, this year probably emphasizes more than ever how much ground they have to make up against the Dodgers. Now, you could also look at the season, like they don't have as much ground to make up against almost everybody else. Even though so many things went wrong this year, it was the Dodgers that really emphasized the disappointment of this year. So even though this year kind of reminded us all of that gap, I still think the Giants are committed to being as good as they can be in the meantime while they try to structurally set things up so they can really go toe-to-toe with that team year after year.
Yeah, and quietly it felt like a lot of their, minor league players started to really play well in the final month of the year, and so there's a lot of guys trending in the upward area. So I'm looking at it this way, like everybody, Farhan, he runs the Giants. And then they lose Scott Harris as the GM, and he felt like an afterthought, I think, for most fans because of the way we talk about Farhan as a whole when it comes to the media. They bring in this new guy, Pete Patella. I don't know much about him. I mean, I can't quantify what his impact was with the Astros, what he'll do here. So you tell me, what's his impact going to be with the Giants, and who is he?
Yeah, I can't say I know him personally very well. I've met him, I guess, once or twice, probably being down there in Houston, but I don't know him personally very well. What I do know is that quietly, the Dodgers get all the credit for it, deservedly. The Yankees, maybe Cleveland, San Diego in their own way. They trade them all away, but they develop a lot of talent. But you could make a good argument that the true player development machine in the game right now is Houston. Look around at the team they're fielding in the playoffs.
Jordan.
And a team, it's just incredible how many of those players, all of their rotation except for Justin Verlander, Bregman, Pena, Alvarez,
Kyle Tucker,
on and on, came up through their own system. And most of those guys were not, Bregman was, Kyle Tucker was a high pick. Most of those players were not like big high round draft picks or bonus kids or whatever. And this guy, Pete, that the Giants have hired around the industry, got a lot of credit for putting the system in place, not necessarily scouting, but to develop the players once they were drafted and signed. And so I do think that was the massive point of emphasis for this Giants hire was, we need somebody, and Scott's really dialed into player development, and I would see Scott on the road. He'd be on the road trips with us, and I'd say, you want to get a drink after we get back to the hotel? He's like, no, I'm going to go back to my room. I got to watch, every at-bat from the minor league system tonight. And he would literally go back and watch every player every night of every team that we have. And so it's not that Scott wasn't emphasizing it, and Scott will be missed, but I think that was the point of emphasis for this hire was get somebody in here who's got a great experience at setting up that development system, maybe some new ideas about how to maximize the talent you already have.
Dave, how the heck was he accessing every at-bat? Because I want a link to that. If there's like an email that can get sent to me, forwarded, so that I can have that same access. Me and Sam Lublin would like to go through all the at-bats daily.
I tell you what, when I meet Pete Patella, I'll say, hey, I got a pal. You may not know him yet. You will know him, but all those that internal server you have and those passwords, if you could just send them over to me and I'm going to share them with him. I'll ask him and see how that goes.
Oh, man, that'll be passed around to everybody in the Bay Area. Everybody at the Olympic Club will have access to those at-bats. Talking to Dave Fleming, voice of the Giants. Of course, here on the Morning Roast on 95.7 The Game. So, stepping back, were you in Toronto for that series? What assignments did you have? I forgot what Lubman told me. You were on a call somewhere.
Yeah, I had the Mariners-Blue Jays series, which only lasted 2 games, although we got truly an historic game in Game 2, just an all-timer. So it was super fun to be there for that. It was agonizing to see the Blue Jays and their fans suffer in real time, but it was also thrilling to see an incredible, the Mariners have suffered more than probably any franchise or fan base over the last couple decades. So it was really cool to see and enjoyed being up there in Toronto. Now it's back to, at least for a couple weeks, back to college football. So that was my baseball playoffs. Now I'm off until I am going to be at the World Series this year and do the international feed broadcast.
Oh, nice.
The telecast that goes to, if you all happen to be hanging out in Sydney, Australia, or for the World Series, or London, or something like that, you can put me on. But I'm off of baseball for a couple weeks until then.
That is nice. And the Mariners, of course, come back, as you mentioned, in that Toronto game. And did they blow game one against the Astros in dramatic fashion? The Astros driving 4 runs at the bottom of the ninth. So what's been your biggest takeaway so far in these Major League Baseball playoffs? We get the Padres winning last night. Braves even up their series yesterday against the Phillies. You got the Yankees up 1-0 on the Guardians. Game 2 tonight. Shane Bieber on the mound for Cleveland. What's your big takeaway?
Yeah, are you rooting for Aaron Judge to lose in horrific fashion so that he has to get out?
I'm not rooting for that because I do think what he did this year was so special. And, I'd hate for it to end where Yankees fans and he had a bad taste in. It's sort of the pain that the Giants felt last year. Like you have this incredible year where all this stuff is so fun, and then if you lose at the end, you just hope that the memory of how special the year was lasts longer than that bad taste. So I'm not rooting against Aaron Judge, although I do see your point. Maybe I need to reconsider. I have to say that the Dodgers-Padres series is a lot more compelling than most people probably thought it would. And I think you all probably had an inkling of that just because of how many times we saw the Padres down the stretch. And I thought how tough they looked. I mean, I thought the Padres looked like a team that had gotten its act together after a long time of struggling. I thought at the end the Padres looked equipped to make a little run. So they're going to put a little pressure on the Dodgers here, which will be fun to see. I think, to me, one of the main things of the playoffs is even though starting pitching gets so de-emphasized in the regular season by innings caps and injuries and load maintenance and all this stuff, when it comes to playoff time, if you can hand the ball to Luis Castillo and he throws 100 for 8 innings with incredible movement, you win. And so I do think that it's a lesson in team building of how the regular season can be different from the postseason. And frankly, it's what makes the Dodgers, to me, look a little more vulnerable than I thought they would look. They are a true juggernaut right now. And yet, because at the end of the year, Kershaw was good, not great. Tyler Anderson was good, not great. Walker Buehler's not there. It's like, I know how good they are, but when you got to match up, like let's say Joe Musgrove goes out and pitches another great game against them, if their guy isn't ready to match up with that, they could be in trouble. Yeah. And so I think these short series, the emphasis on that stud or two that you have is so acute.
I mean, this is why I want to bring Rodon back, because he's such a stud. And you go Webb, Rodon, maybe Harrison down the line. It would be a formidable matchup for anyone in a short series. Before you get on out of here.
Not to interrupt you, but just a quick point. It's why I was stunned that nobody blew the Giants away with an offer at the deadline. Because the Giants would have traded him if they'd gotten a great offer. They didn't want to lose Rodon. They loved having Rodon. But where they were, if they'd gotten a great offer, they would have said yes. Gotcha. And the fact that the Yankees traded for Frankie Montas instead of Rodon
is crazy.
And the Phillies traded a legitimately good prospect for Noah Syndergaard.
That's right. Yeah,
instead of trading for Rodon. Yeah. And the Cardinals didn't do it. I mean, the Cardinals have to be just sick to their stomachs. They had this great year. They didn't do it. They have way enough minor league talent to have done it without it being super painful.
Well, they traded for Jordan Montgomery, though, right, Flem? He was good for them, but he's not Rodon.
Rodon was Cy Young
Montgomery
worthy.
was solid, though.
That's exactly right. It's like it's the difference between being good in the regular season and then against the best teams where it really, really counts. Yeah. There is a difference. And that's not to say you can't have underdog pitchers step up. And it happens in this sport, but for the most part, the studs are the studs, and that plays up in October, and I just continue to be mind blown that nobody watched Rodon and thought, you know what? I would rather have him than Jose Quintana starting game 1 of my playoff series. So maybe we should make that happen.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. You know, Flem, I was going down the rabbit hole of things that happened in the Giants playoff runs over the years, because now it's like this date in history, 10 years ago, they did X, and 8 years ago they did Y, Z. I was thinking about, we were talking about the Draymond Green stuff, and we're going back in history, and one of the things that supercharged the Giants, and I know this was a little before your time, but Kent and Bonds getting into it in the dugout. Right? Like, that was one of those seminal moments everybody remembers. It wasn't the kind of 24/7 coverage that we have now. You're inside of what I call the cauldron, right? You know, it's like a flying circus. You guys are going from town to town. It's not just the coaches and the players, but it's also the people that cover the team like yourself and are a part of the team, talking about them every single day. Your read on the Draymond Green situation from being inside of a team. What did you think when you saw the whole video come out?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's, just as a quick tangent, I do think there is a case to be made that the Giants this year were so not edgy. The Giants were so happy and got along with each other so well and so sort of docile as a team. Not that they weren't hard workers, but the personality of this Giants team was so nice. I do think that they missed a little edge. And, you know, weirdly, Buster Posey always gave the Giants edge. And you don't see that when you see Buster at the microphone or after a game talking to Amy G or whatever. But Buster is an edgy athlete and was holding everybody accountable for years to a certain standard. And I do think the Giants missed that competitive edge that he brought this year more than I thought they would. That's not pointing the finger at anybody else. You can't just invent that in your personality. But I think the point you make about Kent and Bonds, like, sometimes some edginess is a good thing for a team. You know, keeps everybody from feeling real comfortable, maybe in a good way. But the Draymond thing is too, you know, that he just went too far. And I know they're trying to handle this year and get everybody to move on, and a lot of that is up to Jordan Poole, and more power to him if Poole decides to forgive and say, yeah, I can work alongside this guy. But my gut would tell me after something like that happens that you can't ever fully look at that player the same way.
How does that play out? How does that play out in the downtime, like the flights and the hotels and stuff when you're walking around? Do the other people around, when there's two guys that don't get along, do other people feel that?
Yeah, I think you do feel that. Now, you also can separate, even on a plane, even though in the hotel, you know, a team. Now, you don't necessarily want your team to be separated into, like, factions, but you can. There's enough space to where on a team plane in a team travel context, even in a locker room, NBA is smaller roster than baseball, but even in a locker room, if you really have a problem with somebody, you can mostly avoid that player.
Right.
But I think it's more an issue of, like, in the big moments of you know, the game action, whether some trust gets eroded to where a player that you trusted 100% for years and years and was an absolute critical piece to a dynasty, whether that trust, even from the very top levels, coach, star player, is gone, and how that impacts your team. Now, maybe they can get past it, but gosh, watching that video, hard to see how they totally would. I mean, it's hard not to believe it's the beginning of the end for Draymond, which is hard for me to say, because I just have loved the guy as a player, and I think he's way more important to the Warriors' success than anybody outside of the Bay Area has acknowledged over all these years.
Well said, Flem. I couldn't have said it better. I mean, it does have a last dance type of feel for Draymond Green, with all the contracts coming up with Andrew Wiggins and Jordan Poole, as you mentioned. And, of course, Draymond, he has a player option for next year, but he wants to get paid and wants a new multi-year deal. So, yeah, we all seen the punch. Every time I see it, I go, damn, you kind of cringe, because it just wasn't in the old right head. I was one with some heat on it. So we'll see what happens with the Golden State Warriors this year. But good catching up with you. Good luck with the International World Series. Maybe we'll catch up with you then, see who's in the World Series. Hopefully it's not the Dodgers. Maybe the pesky Padres do have something to say about that. Flem, always good talking to you, brother.
You know, even one of my daughters last night, we were sitting here eating a late dinner after their volleyball game, and we were watching the end of that, or watching the post game, I guess, and even one of my daughters said, you know, it's a really fun playoffs this year, even though the Giants aren't in it. And I think it is. It's a lot of cool teams and some new teams. And So I hope
Did you have goose for dinner?
I'm enjoying it.
Did you have goose?
Did you have goose?
Well, I couldn't believe some people were calling it a duck. I'm like, look, I'm no outdoorsman, but come on, man. Come on. I know what a duck looks like. That ain't a duck.
I guess they're calling it a speckle belly or something like that. Somebody on our text line told us that this morning. Come on, guys. It's not a goose. It's not a duck. It's a speckle belly. I was like, I've never heard of that before. And I watch a lot of cartoons now with my daughter, so I've never heard that one.
This show tackles the important issues.
It does.
Absolutely.
It always does, Flip.
Thanks,
always.
buddy.
Thanks, man. We'll talk to you soon, Flip.
Talk to you soon.
All right, Flip. Dave Fleming, presented by the County of Santa Clara. Book a COVID-19 booster shot now at secfreevax.org or call 211 Fleming. Always really good. And I want to pick up where you left off with the Draymond Green situation, because I want to play some sound from Jalen Rose.
Okay.
I want to play some sound from Woj.
Okay.
About this situation, because Flem said it, and everybody's saying it, and I feel the same way.
What's that?
When you get punched like that, you never forget it. Baldy on Tuesday. Brian Baldinger. Yeah, I've been in a lot of fights in the locker room. When I got punched and somebody took off on me, I still haven't gotten over it. I still have that grudge. I still don't even want to look at that person. So for Jordan Poole, because that's the last piece to this puzzle, I keep saying it. Everything's all kumbaya right now. We're going to all move on. We're all going to talk basketball. We're going to talk about James Wiseman. We're going to talk about Steph, Andrew Wiggins. It's a very exciting basketball team. I mean, it's going to be a lot of fun watching Warriors basketball this year. I guarantee it. We all know it. They're defending champs.
Yeah.
But for Jordan Poole, I mean, he's getting memed. I mean, they came out with a meme where they took the NBA 2K graphics and placed a black eye on him. They had a black eye with Jordan Poole, 6'3", 190, and he has a black eye. Like, you're Jordan Poole, you're thinking to yourself, man, I got to live with this for a very long time, if not forever. Forever I'm going to be known as the guy who got punched by Draymond Green in the practice. No matter what you think, whether or not he should have kept his hands up, whether or not you think he pushed him, or whether or not he initiated it. To me, he didn't initiate it. When Draymond Green, and I was talking to Big Dog City about this the other day, when somebody gets in your face like that, puts their chin all on your face, that's initiating contact. That's when it starts. Now, Poole pushed him. You know, you could say he needs to protect himself. I don't want to go down that road again. But my point is, Jordan Poole has to see this video, hear about it, and live with it forever. How does he feel? Because to me, I'm taking myself, I couldn't get over it in a week. I couldn't get over it in a month. I couldn't get over it in 2 months. I couldn't rock with the dude. Now, you have to play a game, and you got to go out there and try to win for the betterment of the team, but what Flip said, I'm totally with him. It's hard to get over something like that.
It is hard, but it's part of being the professional. Unfortunately, in this situation, even though this is not a normal, workplace setting, they don't have to be best friends to be able to move forward.
No doubt.
Right?
But how awkward are those playing rights?
Of course they're going to be. I mean, think about like Kobe and Shaq, which is probably one of the more, high-profile breakups in sports, right? Mm-hmm. Would you say?
Yeah.
It's up there. Were they best friends?
No.
I mean, I'm sure that they needed each other on some level. Like, you and I were watching it. It's entertainment. It's totally different.
They didn't get slugged, though.
I know.
That's the difference.
I know.
He didn't get slugged. If Kobe gets slugged, does Jerry West trade Shaq right then and there? Probably not. But let's say, hypothetically, this happened midway through the year. What do you think the Warriors do then?
So you had posed this to me before we went on air, and I hadn't even really considered that. I do think that it's different. Like, because you would have games and you'd have people out there.
Right.
Suspension, I don't know. Is he away from the team?
Midway through the year,
some sort of a mutual go away, probably.
Right.
But I guess on some level, they're lucky it didn't happen. I mean, lucky in this. How can you be lucky when this thing happens? But yes, I guess to some degree. I also think the ring night kind of hangs over everything, because you don't want to have this situation where you're going to be bitter forever throughout the year. I think they all need to just find a way to amicably get the job done. And they don't have to be best friends to be cohorts and colleagues at work. And, when you're Jordan Poole and you have money staring you in the face, and when you're Draymond Green and you also have an obligation to fulfill your contract, I guess everybody's got to play nice.
I think one thing we kind of brushed under the rug is when Steve Kerr said, this is the biggest crisis they've had to deal with.
There's no doubt.
This is the biggest crisis.
What do you think are the biggest crises, by the way? Because I started thinking about those as well.
KD and Draymond was a big crisis.
Absolutely.
And Draymond got a game suspension.
I would say there's also on-court crisis, like Clay being out for 2 years. Being out for a year.
Steph Curry's knee.
They're different degrees and different kinds of crises.
Steve Kerr called this a crisis, the biggest crisis.
Yeah.
So the biggest crisis that they've had to deal with, and they dealt with many crises. Well, let's just think about the stuff, the Kevin Durant, Draymond Green situation. Draymond Green did get suspended for a game. Draymond wasn't happy about it. He got suspended for a game for that. He's facing no suspension for this in what they deemed the biggest crisis. So to me, that's a little strange, right? Because I think if this was happening midway through the year, if they're 45 games in, and Draymond does this at a practice, and now we can't say this, it's a hypotheticals, but if this happens, I believe they deactivate Draymond Green. I don't have any intel on that situation.
I don't know
but
how
he's for sure getting suspended. So the biggest crisis they dealt with, Draymond's getting a fine and not a suspension. And so, it goes back to Jordan Poole, because I think we talk so much about Draymond Green and what he needs to do. How does he rebuild the trust? How will we remember him? He's a 4-time chat, DPOY. You can't win without him. But I'm looking at it, I've been thinking about it from the Jordan Poole standpoint. Jordan Poole, how does he get over it?
Well, no, there's no doubt.
How does he feel about how the way the organization handled it?
Do you believe in, because I do, and I don't know where you stand, but do you believe in like shame as a form of punishment? Because sometimes there are actual punishments, right? And then there's the shame of facing your family and friends when you've done something wrong, which can be as big of a punishment. And again, I'm not saying that that's exactly what's happening here, because you have to feel shame, number one. Some people just don't feel shame. They're shameless people. I don't know where Draymond is on this spectrum. But like the peer pressure or the peer shame that would like going and facing everybody in the locker room and them knowing that like, dude, you hit one of us.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like that's something that's a burden, I guess, on some level.
Here's what Jalen Rose said yesterday, and we'll get to the calls in just a second. 888-957-9570. Brad Graham, 8:30 to talk some 49ers. Jalen Rose, here's what he had to say about the Warriors not suspending Draymond Green. This was on ESPN NBA Countdown yesterday.
When you don't suspend him because it's going to be ring night, now you really just double down in Jordan Poole's mind that he punched me and y'all didn't suspend him. And eventually they're going to have to choose the future, Jordan Poole, over the current and or the past.
Here's more Jalen Rose on the situation.
It's worse than I thought, and at least Steve Kerr is the person that can navigate this as a championship-level coach who's done it as a player, and unfortunately he dealt with this with Michael Jordan, but he actually got punched in practice. But here's what makes that different. It wasn't a video. And I guarantee you, he and MJ's relationship was never the same. Draymond's and Poole's will never be the same. Draymond's and the team will never be the same.
And
on that,
I
agree with.
Yeah, and because of that, Jalen Rose doesn't think the Warriors are repeating.
And before this incident, I actually thought the Warriors were going to win it all. They ain't winning it all this year now. Because what's going to happen is the karma of the game catches up to you in so many ways. And basketball is so much a game of camaraderie. This is two of their top 5 players. So how their interactions are going to be all season is going to affect the dynamics of a team. Helping on defense, missing me on an assignment, missing me on a pass. Guess what we're going to be paying attention to? Did they high five? Basic things that we normally take for granted are now going to permeate.
I mean, there's been plenty of dysfunctional teams that have won championships. Not a lot, but I'm saying
not a lot.
There have been. I mean,
and I wouldn't even call this team dysfunctional.
No, but I'm just saying, if you were to file the word dysfunctional, like there's been plenty of those. Like, were things super harmonious when the Warriors were winning championships with KD in the second year?
No.
I mean, were they really?
Second year was a lot better.
David West came out and said at the very end, y'all don't even know what's going on.
And now doesn't it make you think what was going on?
Of course it does. And then when you say, like, we had the
meningitis.
And then the way that Steve Kerr said, this is the biggest crisis. It's like, well, what other crises? That would have been my follow-up. Like, what other crises do we not know about? But it doesn't mean that the Warriors can't win it all. It's a long season.
Yeah.
Right now we're at the bottom of the mountain.
Yeah.
Talk to me when we're in the middle of the mountain. I'll have a better feel about what their chances are. Like, injuries can derail things. Look around the West. Is it going to be stiffer or worse than it was last year?
Right.
I still don't know.
I don't know. I think the camaraderie will be fine. There will be awkwardness, no doubt. But I said this last week.
Of course.
Every handshake's going to be magnified. I don't want to talk about that every day. I want to talk about the game. Bo Schembechler, Michigan. The game. That's all I want to talk about. I want to talk about Wiseman's development, Kuminga's development, Moses Moody's development, JaMychal Green, how he fits, DiVincenzo being a pest on defense. I want to talk about Steph going for number 5. That's what I want. And just this whole situation has hijacked that for now.
Yes.
Just like KD's last year.
Yes.
All that situation. The Warriors are going for a three-peat. Think about that. Showtime Lakers never three-peated.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
But B, in that circumstance, as bad as that season was, and everyone always says KD hijacked the final year. They lost in Game 6 of the finals, and everyone was hurt.
But I'm not saying that.
No, I know. But what I'm saying is they dragged it all the way to the end.
I hear
they
you.
were a threat away.
West is kind of weak. Listen, that year, all we did was talk about Kevin Durant leaving, Draymond Green.
I agree. It was a distraction.
And I worked the show with Greg Papa, and it was like, gosh, we're not even talking about a three-peat. And it all was about the offseason, too, because that was the offseason with Kawhi Leonard moving on. Yeah, Paul George getting traded. That's all we freaking talked about, and it was annoying. So,
well, I see a lot of Warrior fans this morning are waking up and like, move on.
No.
You guys can't stop talking about it.
But the numbers don't say that. And a lot of people are talking about it everywhere I go.
Yeah,
everywhere I go.
I'm with you on this.
What about Draymond Green? My Russian in-laws. Damn it. Oleg, Alona, Bablik. Bablik's 85 years old, watches every Warrior games. That's Anna's grandmother. Draymond Green, why he do this? That's all they talk about. Every casual. That's all they talk about.
I'm at softball last night, and that's all anyone wants to talk about. And the casual fan is thinking to themselves, damn, what happened there? What's going on? Should he be punished? I don't think he should be punished. This guy says he should be punished. Why would you punch a teammate? Do these guys like each other?
Right.
Do they hate him? I'm sick of Draymond. I'm not sick of Draymond. He's my favorite. They can't win without him.
And you telling me people don't want to talk about Dave Johnson on YouTube's been adamant for the last 2 days on the chat. Dre chose violence and skated. He owns Kerr. Now there's people who think that Draymond runs the organization. And I can't. I'm not going to tell anybody how they should feel about it, but the optics look bad. And Bun Knob, he paid $5 for this chat. Thank you for the $5. I appreciate it.
Yeah, if you want to jump up in the YouTube chat, you can donate a little money.
Donate a little money. I'll read your chat. I'll read your message.
Read his message.
Gentlemen, trust. He will not get over it talking about Jordan Poole. Because I had a coworker come at me disrespectfully. Didn't come to blows, but I'm still heated 5 months later. I can relate to that.
Well, and the other thing that I do want to dispel is that a lot of people are like blaming the media. The media is the ones keeping this going. The media wasn't the one that did the whole action of Draymond punching Jordan Poole. The media did not leak the video. Now the media posted the video, which is their obligation.
Right.
The media was not the one that told Steve Kerr to go no comment on a couple of very specific things regarding Draymond's trust with the team. The media wasn't the one that had Draymond Green talk. Draymond had to talk because the organization wanted him to talk to try to put water on the fire.
Right.
The media isn't the one waiting for Jordan Poole. Everyone's waiting for Jordan Poole.
Right.
The fans, their own teammates. You think Kevon Looney wants to sit up there and talk about this?
No.
Right? Nope. You think Steph Curry wanted to go out the next day and talk about this?
Yep.
I would much rather talk about Steph Curry going for a 5th championship and the coronation of him as a top 10 player all time cemented than Draymond Green and whether or not he knocked out Jordan Poole or not and whether that was cool.
It's annoying. We don't want to talk about it. It's the biggest story of sports, though. It's the biggest story of sports, and Danker made a great point. Once TMZ's involved, it's on another level.
Exactly.
There's over 40 million views. I've lost count of how many views.
Well, ask Tiger Woods. Once you get put on the tabloids, even though we don't really do tabloids anymore, TMZ is the equivalent of the tabloids these days. It's fair game for everybody.
And then this other thing that's going around, and we'll get to the calls, Anthony Avery, Dario. This whole thing that, man, you guys really hate Draymond Green. No, actually, we love Draymond Green. I love Draymond Green.
Mm-hmm.
Love Draymond Green. When he first got selected out of Michigan State, I was out in Baltimore, Maryland. And I said, damn, that might be a good pick. Second round, this guy, he could play. And I had heard him on Jim Rome's show way back when, too much prior to that. I was like, man, this guy's well-spoken. Okay. Well, what do you know? He's got a career broadcasting. TNT, of course, his Volume, the Draymond Green show on the Volume Podcast Network. Colin Cowherd. Nobody hates Draymond Green. I just mentioned it in the first hour. I want to remember Draymond Green 10 years from now as being a 5-time NBA champion.
Of course.
I want to remember him as being a DPOI, as being one of the greatest Warriors to ever don that uniform. I want Draymond Green alongside Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Andre Iguodala to have that statue outside the Chase Center. I want that number 23 hanging in the banners. So get out of here with the stuff that we hate Draymond Green. I love Draymond Green. I don't like the actions, though.
Yeah.
I don't like what happened with Jordan Poole. My best friend does something bad. I don't like that. You're still my best friend. I still love you, but I don't like that.
I know.
So
if this were any other, like if this were Anthony Davis and LeBron James, if this was Anthony Davis and let's say Pat Bev, right? For example, it would get the same amount of scrutiny. Now, the fact that it's Draymond and Draymond wags his finger at the media, I'm sure that amplifies it to some degree. But think about Gilbert Arenas and what was it, Crittenden?
Javaris Crittenton.
I mean,
from Georgia Tech.
We talked about that for a year and a half as a media, did we not?
Right, no doubt.
How many times do guys pull guns out on each other? Do all NBA players bring guns on the airplanes? What about these card games? What's going on with these cards? Like when these things kind of things happen, it's amplified. And Gilbert Arenas does not have the Q rating that Draymond Green does.
No.
I mean, I love me some Hibachi, but Hibachi is not on the level.
Think about where Draymond Green is at. Where he's at, uninterrupted. You know what I'm saying? The shop.
He's got his own podcast.
He's got his own podcast. He's got hardware. Draymond Green's a factor. One of the more recognizable faces in the NBA.
I know.
So that's where we're at with it. And it's, a lot of people don't agree with the way the Warriors handled it. The Warriors handled it the best way they could. I'll trust Steve Kerr and Bob Myers on that. I'll give them the BOD, benefit of the doubt on that. That's me. You don't have to. That's me. Let's go to Anthony in Fairfield. Anthony in Fairfield, he's on the roast on 95.7 The Game. What's up, Anthony?
Top of the morning, fellas. So I just, first of all, Bonte, you got to think about that. You said your lady's 85-year-old Russian grandmother is asking you about the situation with Draymond. So that's how you know it's really for real.
Crazy.
Exactly.
But I just wanted to get, it really is, though, but I wanted to get some perspective because I'm hearing a lot of people say that Poole pushed him first and this, that, and the other. Well, where we're from, being from the city, whether it's from Fillmore, Excelsior, wherever, if somebody walked down on you the way that Draymond did, you usually have every right to hit him with a two-piece.
Yep.
You know it, I know it, and everybody else know it. Yep. Now, if the shoe was on the other foot and Jordan Poole hit Draymond with a two-piece first, everybody that's saying that Jordan Poole pushed Draymond and that's the reason why he had every right to hit him, everybody wouldn't be saying anything. But the fact of the matter is, Jordan Poole didn't need to have his guard up because Jordan Poole was at practice with quote-unquote family because everybody keep using that word. And why would you have your guard up with family? But I just wanted to call people out on that because you keep saying that Jordan Poole was the one that initiated.
Yeah.
But Jordan Poole, really, if this was in the streets, if this was anywhere else, because people keep saying, oh, well, he should have had his hands up. If anybody walks on you like that, you are within your right to defend yourself because you don't know what they're going to do. Jordan Poole wasn't trying to initiate anything. So I just kind of wanted to give that because I think it's unfair. I don't care how the Warriors handled it because it's not my business as a fan.
Exactly.
I know how I look at Draymond moving forward. I trust what Steve Kerr said, and like you guys said, I really do trust the organization. I believe and I agree with what Jalen Rose said, that their relationship will never be the same because he did cross that line. But I think it's unfair to rationalize what Draymond Green did. But if the shoe was on the other foot and Jordan Poole hit him first, like, oh, what you walking up on me like that for? It would be a totally different story. So
That's a great call, Anthony.
And Anthony,
great call.
Everything with Draymond is amplified. If I just go, Kevin Durant, 888-957-9570.
Lines
people
light
are
up.
like,
Lines light up.
All right, if you go Draymond Green, anything, Draymond Green, 888-957-9570.
Lines light up.
You could
do that with Jimmy G.
No, I know, but that's my point. I think people get nauseated with certain things, and this is what I would tell them. If you own a business, you know what? Give me 8 minutes, and I'll explain the whole thing to you.
Right. Fairly, I'm losing some credibility because
no. I want to talk about this.
Yeah. No, because
8 minutes. I'm going to explain what I'm going.
All right. What? 8 minute monologue?
No, in 8 minutes, I'm going to give you.
I'm kidding.
Okay.
Avery Durio, EQ.
Flex on the injuries.
Yeah. Let's go, London.
It's time for the injury report.
That really hurt.
Brought to you by Boxer & Gerson, Northern California's premier workers' compensation law firm, helping injured workers get their lives back for over 40 years.
Oh, that's a lot of funny, man. YouTube chat's going up. Xfinity mobile text lines going up. Look, man, every casual out there wants to talk about it. My buddy, one of my brothers, had his father on his deathbed. And the first thing he did when he met me outside, hey, big dog, what the hell is going on with the Warriors? Daddy's on his deathbed, for crying out loud. What's going on with Draymond Green and Golden State Warriors? So don't tell me this thing about nobody wants to talk about it. It's the biggest story in sports, and until Jordan Poole talks, this chapter will not be closed. What's hard about that? What's hard about understanding that? Come on now. All right, injury report. Bosa's. Shanahan said there's a possibility Bosa will play against Atlanta. Instead of practicing, Bosa spent the day going through physical therapy with trainer Dustin Perry. Shanahan is hopeful that he could play in the ATL, although Eric Armstead has been ruled out for the game Sunday. We'll see about Javon Kinlaw and Ebukam as well. The injury report brought to you by Boxer & Gerson, Northern California's premier workers' compensation law firm, helping injured workers get their lives back for over 40 years. What's coming up on the game? Sponsored by Fremont Bank, full-service banking, no compromises. Your phone calls. Avery, Dario, Ian Q, you're on deck, and Shasky has something to say in about 5 minutes here on The Roast.
Today, the Warriors rookies are live in studio with Damon and Ratto.
Nice dunk put back there by Ryan Rollins, the sophomore out of Toledo.
Today, Patrick Baldwin Jr. and Ryan Rollins are hanging out with Damon and Ratto live in studio.
Baldwin Jr., and just like he did Friday night, first time he touched the ball, he shot it and made it.
On the home of the NBA champions, 95.7, The Game.
This is world-renowned handicapper Chris Hodge with TakingVegas.com, and let's face facts, folks. The only reason you're going to watch Washington-Chicago tonight, unless you're a fan of both teams, is to make some money on the game, and TakingVegas.com is going to do that for you absolutely free. The Thursday Night Football run for us is 4-1. The overall pro football run is now 16-4. We are on fire. And we are giving out Washington-Chicago tonight absolutely free, no questions asked, no obligations. Just visit TakingVegas.com. Plus, there are 18 free pick articles lined up at TakingVegas.com. And on Saturday, we have our college football game of the year. This is all free. All you have to do is visit TakingVegas.com. Washington-Chicago tonight. We make it 5-1 on Thursday Night Football. Get it free at TakingVegas.com. That's TakingVegas.com for tonight's Washington-Chicago game, absolutely free.
Gorgeous gaming, stunning streams, unbelievable bandwidth. It's another Lifestyles of Gagillionaires. Meet the AT&T Fiber customers winning at life with hyper gig speeds. Meet Gagillionaire Terry. While his love of streaming horror movies has him constantly on the edge of his seat, his internet bill won't give him a scare.
Oh, don't go in there. I'm telling you.
Because since Terry upgraded to AT&T Fiber with hyper gig speeds, he doesn't worry about data caps or equipment fees.
Come on, man. The door's open for a reason.
And best yet, he also doesn't stress about a price increase at 12 months. Because with the amazing Gagillionaire lifestyle comes an exquisite sense of tranquility. Most of the time. Live like a Gagillionaire. Get straightforward pricing with AT&T Fiber. Internet that upgrades everything. No data caps, no equipment fees, and no price increase at 12 months.
Limited availability in select areas. Visit att.com/hypergig for details.
If you own a business, this has been a bumpy ride. From pandemic to inflation, I'm sure you could use a break. If your business has 5 or more employees and survived COVID, you might be eligible to receive a payroll tax refund of up to $26,000 per employee. The challenge is getting your hands on it. Hi, I'm Howard Mackler, and that's why I founded GetRefunds.com to cut through the red tape and get you the money. The team of tax attorneys we have put together are highly trained in this little-known payroll tax refund program. We do all the work, charge not a dime up front, and simply share a percentage of the cash that we get for you. Businesses of all types can qualify, including those that took PPP, nonprofits, and even those that had increases in sales. We have helped return over $1 billion to businesses, and we can help you too. Just go to getrefunds.com/sports, click on Qualify Me, and answer a few questions. This payroll tax refund is only available for a limited period of time. Don't lose out on up to $26,000 per employee. Go to getrefunds.com/sports. That's getrefunds.com/sports.
At Harris Ranch, we do beef. just like we've done for over 50 years. Beef that's raised locally right here in California. Tender steaks, awesome burgers, and California classics like tri-tip roast. The flavor you crave, the quality you trust time after delicious time. Come on, it's time to get out and grill. Harris Ranch, we do beef. Legendary beef, legendary quality.
Score big with Xfinity Internet. It's made to do anything, so you can do anything. Supercharge your home with the game-changing speed of supersonic Wi-Fi. With 3 times more bandwidth, it covers the field and then some. And blocks billions of threats with advanced security that helps keep you protected at home and on the go. If you're keeping score, that's internet that does it all. That's unbeatable internet from Xfinity. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas.
Hit big with the Major League Baseball postseason with the BetQL network. Here's Chelsea Messenger from the Daily Tip.
It's the best time of the year in Major League Baseball. That's right, the postseason. Betting on postseason baseball can be a little tricky, but there's a couple things I usually rely on. Teams with top-line aces and also postseason experience.
Download the free BetQL app right now and get instant access to the industry's most advanced betting tools. Win big this MLB postseason with BetQL.
You're the one who protects the flock, and that requires an eye for detail. Because when safety and well-being are on the line, it's the details that can save lives. Even when no one else is watching, you see everything. Grainger gets you, and we're here for you, and all the ones who get it done with a wide range of safety products and solutions, plus board-certified safety consultants here to answer your questions. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Are you seeing the telomeres here? Come here, look at the scope.
Dr. Ocasio's lab startup just discovered a gene therapy breakthrough.
The cells have already doubled.
He needs a fleet of research assistants before this breakthrough breaks them.
We need lab techs, research assistants.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Get what you want and pay over time when you use your Lowe's Advantage Card. Now through October 26, 2022. Ask for 0% APR with 36 fixed monthly payments on a product installation or appliance purchase of $1,000 or more. Shop for the appliances you want in-store or online. Or go to the store nearest you for installation. Now at Lowe's. Offer subject to credit approval. Minimum monthly payments required. See store or Lowe's.com for details. U.S. only.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMC FM and HD1 San Francisco. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's time to wake up with a nice cup of morning roast. Featuring
Fillmore's finest, Monte Hill. The pride of the Excelsior, Joe Butcher Boy Shasky. You're listening to 95.7 The Game, the morning roast.
What up, Duke? What up, YouTube? What up, Twitch? What up, Xfinity Mobile Text Line? Brad Graham coming up at 8:30 to talk some Niners and Falcons as we look for the Niners to win their third straight game. That's right. That's a winning streak. That's a winning streak. They gotta have a chance to win 3 in a row. Good morning, everybody at work. If you're giving out for your graveyard shift, all the truck drivers, construction workers, everybody out there, good morning, good morning, good morning. Doctors and nurses, everybody out there, Lutman, Kyle Madsen producing the show. And, of course, Joe Shasky, the Butcher. We're having a lot of fun. Yeah. Right now, we're on the Draymond hype. And, look, we're getting closer and closer to ring night. It's going to be a spectacular season of Warriors basketball. I'm so excited about this team. This team is so loaded to me. It is going to be fun. Like the blowouts this year will be fun. And it'll be fun to see LeBron James on the other side watching Steph Curry receive his 4th ring. Watching Draymond Green receive his 4th ring. Klay Thompson, Andre Iguodala. And then I could surpass LeBron at the end of the year. But right now we got a situation. And the situation's not over yet until we hear from Jordan Poole. It is what it is. It is what it is.
You know, it's interesting. I don't consider myself part of the media, but here I am. Like, we're talking every single day. And I hear this a lot from some certain segments of the fan base, right? You guys, you and the media keep bringing this up, and it's lazy. What's interesting to me, and I say this every single day, we try to formulate a show. Bonte, me, Sam, Kyle Madsen, Willard Dips, whoever it is. And this is what I would say about our whole station. And it starts with our PD. And he's right. What is hitting the people?
Yep.
What do they care about? It doesn't matter what Joe Shasky thinks. It really doesn't matter what Bonte Hill thinks. I got a great story about softball with my dad last night, but nobody cares but me.
Yeah.
Okay? What do you want to talk about? That's what is going to make us the most popular amongst the people in the Bay Area. All right. I used to own a small business, for example. All right. I used to own a small business, and my dad loves tuna salad. I go, Dad, no one likes tuna salad but you. All right. So I would whip up all this tuna salad every single day, and I would sit there and I would watch it oxidize and start to turn brown. And I go, Dad, people like turkey and roast beef. That's why the majority of the products I buy are turkey and roast beef, because that's what people want to eat. They don't want to eat tuna. So you know what I did? I took tuna off the menu. All right? I would love to come in here and talk live golf. Right. You know what I would do? Alienate the entire Bay Area, and no one would want to talk about it. To your point about the Draymond Green situation, this is what people want to talk about.
Right.
I would much rather come in here and you and me break down Hufanga in the cover 3.
Right. Hufanga in the Kyle Pitts matchup.
Exactly. But that's not really what people want to talk about.
Right.
9 times out of 10, people wake up, at least around here, and they want to talk Jimmy G. They want to talk, Golden State Warriors, Steph Curry. You even utter the name Kevin Durant. I'm going to sell to you what you want to talk. It doesn't matter. Now, can I come up with creative things that maybe interest you or entertain you or give you insight? Of course.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I'm doing a disservice to the entire audience if I don't talk about the things you guys in the Bay Area are thinking.
Well said, because you throw out the number 888-957-9570. You say Jimmy Garoppolo, the lines, the chat, everything lights up.
The numbers go through the roof.
And I have Jimmy fatigue. I've been, literally since I've been on air, Jimmy has been a 49er, and I'm tired to talk about Jimmy. He's the quarterback of the team. I've loved him. Hell, I wanted Jimmy to stay over. I didn't even want Tom Brady. That's how much I love Jimmy Garoppolo. Think about how far I've come on the other side saying, yeah, I'm ready to move on from this. I've been on.
The boss thought we were going to fight each other over Jimmy Garoppolo because we were very fatigued over it.
Listen, Shanahan, Lynch. We talked about them. We fired Lynch. A lot of people fired Lynch last year. Criticized him. Lynch came on the show, had a ball to say, when am I coming back on? You know what I'm saying? We're doing what we need to do. And it's working, right? It's working. What the boss man says, it's working. And now people are saying, well, ESPN has moved on. ESPN is too busy talking about the Dallas Cowboys for the 300. Do you get tired of that? Let me ask the fans, though. They talk about the Lakers and Cowboys every single day on ESPN on all their platforms.
Do you know why?
Numbers.
Because people care nationally about the Cowboys and Lakers, right? So, again, the way I look at this thing, I know we're frustrated in it. So here's the question that I have with the Draymond Green thing. I don't want to adjudicate the punch. I feel like we have.
We've been there, done that.
We've been there, done that. Everyone's got their feelings. How does this team move forward?
Right.
How can this team rally together, get along, and try to win their back-to-back championship?
Because you know what's funny, too? Because that's what I'm on. I think this team is going to be so dynamic. I'm just salivating over the thought of Wiseman catching that alley-oop from Jordan Poole. I'm salivating over the fact that Draymond's going to hit Curry in the pocket for another 3, or Klay Thompson's out there for a full season. I'm so excited. Looney, what does he have in store for an encore after playing it every single game last season? What about Andrew Wiggins? What? His confidence is sky high right now, and Chase is going to be rocking. But I guarantee you this, and the media will get blamed for this, which I can't stand. Fans will blow up every handshake between Draymond Green and Jordan Poole. Fans will screenshot everything and post it on the internet. Fans will do that. Media members will do it too. But let's not act like fans don't do it too, because we're all fans at the end of the day.
Did Mary Babers-Green respond to a media member or fans?
She responded to fans.
Because those are the ones that are all up in the comments, and I'm not ripping. I'm part of the fan base as well. You know why? Because people really, really, really care about the Golden State Warriors, and they really, 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 really care about Draymond Green and Jordan Poole. At the end of the day, that's what it is.
And another thing, every fan, look in the mirror. Every fan has been in a fight. Men, women,
it's very relatable,
boys and
this
girls.
whole situation.
Boys and girls.
Yeah, or they've broken up a fight.
What happens if that was you getting punched like that and it was all over the internet?
Well, how would you move forward?
Would you forget that person?
Could you move forward?
Because to me, what's not being talked about enough is, how does Jordan Poole feel? Where's he at right now? Steve Kerr's spoken for him, but I want to hear from Jordan Poole himself. No disrespect to Steve Kerr, because I trust Steve Kerr. I think he's one of the best coaches in basketball.
I'm with you.
He wins another ring. He's going to join the company of another 5 guys, and 4 of them are Celtics.
Popovich?
No, it's Phil Jackson, Red Auerbach, Casey Jones, I think Tommy Heinsohn, maybe. I could be wrong. But as Bill Russell, as guys who, as players and coaches, have the most combined NBA championships.
I was going to say the 5 rings would tie Popovich, correct?
Yeah, it will tie Pop.
As a coach.
It will tie Pop. But he'll become the 6th member as a player coach.
That's incredible.
To have 10 or more rings. And I trust Steve Kerr, and I trust Bob Myers, and I trust the culture of the Golden State Warriors. But don't think this thing isn't going away. And don't think that every time they shake or they have a disagreement that not only media members will blow it up, but fans will too.
No doubt.
Fans will too.
I mean, be anything that they do. There are entire accounts dedicated on social media to specific players on the Warriors, and they do anything. The other day, did you notice this? The other day. This shows you the fervor of Warrior fans. Klay Thompson asked the rookie Ryan Rollins to get up from his seat. We got like 40,000 views on YouTube just posting that 1-minute little clip.
Wow.
Like that. And that's not the Instagram. That's not Twitter. That's not, like, we're talking YouTube. People search that out. 40,000 clicks.
Yep. Wow.
Just to show you how much people care about the Warriors.
They do. They love these Warriors. And they care about Draymond. They care about Poole.
Absolutely.
Let's go. Wade Beasley donated $5 on YouTube, so we'll read his chat. Thanks for the money. Draymond is the Will Smith of sports. You can't help but remember the punch and forget the good. That's interesting because he slapped Chris Rock. We don't talk about the pursuit of happiness no more.
When I look at the Will Smith thing, I don't want to psychoanalyze Draymond because I don't think it's fair. I don't know enough about him. Seeing the Will Smith and his wife dynamic play out so publicly, it was hard not for all of us to psychoanalyze where he was emotionally in that moment. When Chris Rock was basically making fun of his wife, and they've admitted to an open marriage. There were layers of things. And that's why I think the Draymond thing's so compelling, because there's layers of stuff. Workplace, even though it's a unique workplace. You know, hitting a teammate, punching someone, getting in a fight, how you react. Is he remorseful? Is he not? We haven't heard from Jordan Poole. You know wow, look at Steph Curry be so adamantly against Draymond. That's his guy.
Listen, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to take some calls. Xfinity mobile text line, and I don't mean to be rude. I don't mean be mean. 510, you can't move forward if it's forced and thrown in your face every day by 95.7 The Game. Well, 510, you have a choice. You can go listen to something else. You can click us off if you don't want to hear what the hell we're talking about. So stop. It's the biggest story in sports, and it's in our backyard.
And B, we talked about the 49ers. I asked a question earlier today. I go, and I thought it was a compelling one, because you and I were like, let's move on. And, hey, you taking the Harbaugh core and that 3 years, or you taking the Shanahan core? Oh, we got a little bit of buzz. It's like, all right, well, the audience isn't feeling that.
No.
Right? And so we're going to pivot from this. You referenced Draymond. And ring, numbers up.
Well,
people calling, texting in.
Well, Christian McCaffrey.
Because this is what people want to talk
about.
Odell
Beckham Jr., Christian McCaffrey, Odell Beckham Jr., Niners going all in. We're in October now. Week 6 coming up in the NFL. Niners have a chance to win 3 in a row. We're going to talk to Brad Graham at 8:30. I'm saying to myself, is this the year to go all in?
Yeah.
Look at the power of the Dallas Cowboys and Eagles are on top of the NFC right now. Do you really feel those two teams? But again, on a Thursday morning, nobody's really feeling it. Maybe they're listening. Maybe they want to hear more. But the buzz ain't there.
And B, we talked to Dave Fleming, little baseball playoffs, Giants' new GM, and all you get is Z's from people. Like, why are we talking about the Giants?
So stop complaining. Please stop complaining.
No, but like this is the biggest story in sports, and I understand from the audience perspective, because you feel like your team, and this is the way I look at it. I know, because I'm a listener. I listen to all sports talk. You feel like the media is trying to rip your team apart. No. I want to see this team win back-to-back. I paid out of my own pocket to go see the Warriors in Boston and to sit alone, by myself alone, as one of the 8 Warrior fans in that arena, as my team was down 2-1 for Game 4 on a Friday night in Boston. You know why? Because I love the Warriors. I want to see Steph Curry get a 5th ring. I want to see him surpass LeBron James. I want to see him be a top 5 player of all time. I want to see this nucleus win another one. I don't want to be talking about the punch, but we are here, and this happened. And how does it affect one of my favorite players who's up and coming, Jordan Poole? I want to see this guy stay with the Warriors forever.
Right. No doubt. And I mean, look, don't tell me that we're forcing it down your throat. It's right there in front of your face. We're going to see the Warriors tomorrow night. Draymond Green's going to be back at practice. He's going to be back at practice today. You don't think people are going to be clicking on the videos to see what he's doing, to see where he's shooting, to see if he's on the same floor as Jordan Poole? Not me. I'm going to be asleep. I'm going to go get ready for Thursday Night Football.
And like I keep coming back to this. All I kept thinking, they're the reigning champs. We should be having a coronation, a red carpet celebration of how great Steph was in Game 4, one of the all-time iconic 40-plus performances with your back against the wall in the hallowed Boston Garden, and yet we've been robbed of that moment because of this situation.
Not only that. You had the big shots by Klay Thompson in the fourth quarter. You had the big tip-ins by Andrew Wiggins. You had big offensive rebounds by Kevon Looney. The play down the stretch was phenomenal. They go out there and win 3 straight against Boston. I remember the morning of Game 4. Bay Area was a little doom and gloom, and we had Chris Mullin on.
I know.
And he said, good morning, Roasters. Good morning, Shasky. Good morning, Bonte. We will win Game 4. And we walked out that studio at WEEI pumped, telling every damn Celtic fan, well, it was me.
No, we walked out of that studio on our way to get lobster rolls and crab legs.
And pumped.
Yes.
But then every Celtic fan I saw, I said, hey, you're losing tonight. You're losing tonight. And we saw an historical performance out of Steph Curry. The one thing I don't want to do, and I said this yesterday, I don't want to talk about every handshake and everything with Jordan Poole and Draymond Green.
I want to talk about James Wiseman and the two-man game with Jordan Poole.
Not only that, because not only that, the three-peat with the Warriors, even though they finished in, they lost to the Raptors in Game 6 and everybody was hurt.
That season sucked.
The season sucked to cover. And I was in the locker rooms every single day, and it sucked. It sucked. Why? Because the cloud of KD, Draymond, and then KD just overshadowed everything. And we were all fatigued. We were so fatigued. Our former assistant program director and I ripped his head off for this. Ripped his head off. Where he goes, Vontae, it's kind of good that the Warriors are struggling this year. I need a year off.
A year off?
I need a year off. It's been too intense the last 5 years. I'm thinking to myself, dude, I want to win every single year.
That's what
I want a year every single year. Like, I'm there every single year. But the casuals were tired.
I know.
They were fatigued.
And Bonte, what did I say after the game the other night? I wanted to come in here and talk Patrick Baldwin Jr. for like 3 hours.
Yeah.
But you know what? I know that's not really what the entire Bay Area wants to talk about.
No doubt.
So I'm doing a disservice to our audience.
So let's go to the calls. Duriel in Arizona. What's happening? You're on the roast.
Hey, thank you for having me on. I just want to say how I'm going to remember Draymond Green. The way that I was talking about him last year and everything before the season started, calling him barbecue chicken and stuff, is the way that people are trying to talk about him now, that they're turning on him because he punched Jordan Poole. And I always felt he was a big rah-rah bully, like a rah-rah guy, and he was coming off like teaching the guys how to be bullies when he's always talking about these young guys, and I'm going to show these young guys. Like, I felt that he was teaching them how to be like a bully, and but I'm never going to call him barbecue chicken again. And I thought that his skills don't match his mouth, and he was overrated, and he was the luckiest player in the history of the NBA to be on the team with the Splash Brothers and Coach Kerr. But now I just look at you got to look at the proof is in the pudding. He brought the 4 championships.
Right.
He's the greatest defensive player of all time. And, he is the leader of the team and everything, the vocal leader. So you got to take the good with the bad. It's like, that's my thing is I'm taking the good with the bad with him. I'm never going to talk bad about Draymond Green again. And I think he should get to be the coach of the team after he retires. He needs to be the coach. They need to listen to him.
Right,
Hey, you know what? If Draymond was the coach, Bobby Cox's ejection record would be in jeopardy.
I have not even...
I actually wouldn't mind Draymond as a coach.
That was Duriel, OG Duriel.
I know. He was much more reserved till the end.
Very mellow these days.
Yeah.
Ever seen him hoop?
Yes, I have. I saw
seen him hoop.
I actually follow him on YouTube.
We have seen him hoop. Look, man, I want to move on from the situation just as bad as everybody else. I got to cover the team on television every single day. You think we want to talk about... I was talking to Bully yesterday. It's like, you think we want to talk about this? You think we want to spend our time talking about some freaking practice punch?
But this is why Kerr and Bob and Steph in that day after felt very annoyed and disappointed in the situation because they know what comes along with this.
And then the video gets released and it's like, oh boy.
And then he ramp it up.
It got ramped up real quick.
Yes.
Real quick. Let's go to E in San Jose. E, what's happening? You're on the roast. E, going once?
To make about all this.
What's up, E?
I wanted to. I'm glad that Vontae brought up Steve Kerr because back in the day, I'm a little too young to remember. Did we know about the punch from The Last Dance when it happened in real time, like we do about this one?
It was like a slow leak.
This happens way more often than we think, hundreds, maybe thousands of times over professional sports. But right now, we got things like TMZ that are going to pull this out of every single angle, and we got videos leaking and all that stuff. And what I mean by this happens all the time is I had to break up a fight between two 12-year-old girls at soccer practice the other day. Like, it happens. It's competitive. I'm not saying that it was okay, but having everyone and every angle and Twitter and 24-hour news just blowing this up, this happens way more often than we think. There's not even a video of the Bobby Portis one, and that's the one that keeps getting referenced. So it's not as big of a deal as people are making it, but the media, not necessarily you guys, I know you guys have to talk about it, but the media is making this way bigger of an issue than it is.
Is it the media, though, E, and the fans? E, let me ask you. All your buddies that you talk Warriors basketball with, somebody brings it up in the conversation, don't they?
It's impossible.
Dude, I played softball last night, and I swear to God, the umpire brought it up 13 times.
That's what I'm
like. What do you think about Draymond? I was like, I don't know.
You just proved our point.
That's exactly my point.
Everybody can't get enough of this situation.
After our game last night, we all sat there. And I was getting peppered with Draymond Green questions. I said, guys, I don't know anything more than you know. Getting peppered. He said the umpire brought it up unsolicited 13 times.
We will move on, but Draymond's returning to practice today for the first time after being out for 5-6 days. Then he's going to play in the game.
He said the
umpire preseason. The umpire brought it up 13 times. So it's not just us.
I know. Speaking of softball, since we're here, you left an opening for me. Last night,
save it
brand
for the
new
end
bat.
of the show. Save it for the end of the show. We got calls, man. Okay. All right, brand new bat. What? Go ahead, Shaq.
Dad hit a walk-off.
Oh, congratulations, Papa. I'm surprised they didn't call us.
The outfield in, and he ripped one over their heads. I've never seen.
He ran the bases?
Barney Rubble was running as hard as he possibly could around the bases.
How amped was he?
The ear-to-ear smile, he went straight to Chick-fil-A after.
Are you serious?
I swear to God.
By himself?
No, he invited me, and I went.
Chick-fil-A's good.
It was delicious.
The manager reached out to us.
At Chick-fil-A?
Yeah.
Which one?
Ceremony.
No.
Kyle Maxon was on that email.
What?
Yeah.
I've been going up there.
Shout out to Suzanne at the Ceremony Chick-fil-A.
Suzette.
I'm all about that spicy deluxe life.
Suzette. Well, I got the email. Brad sent it over to me, who runs sales.
Okay.
And she was like, I heard Bonte talking about the lines at Chick-fil-A. Let them know the lines are not long. And when I go up there to get breakfast.
We were 2 minutes.
In and out. Yeah, it's in and out.
Well, no, In and Out's a different company.
In and in, and you're not out for about 45 minutes.
Yes.
Chick-fil-A, you're literally in and out.
Absolutely.
Susanna.
Yes.
Yes, she reached out.
I was going to go Susie Q.
So I meant to.
It's wonderful.
Because I bought a spicy biscuit and some hash browns. Baby Ches loves the hash browns from Chick-fil-A. And I meant to take a picture and send it to her.
Why you got to do Baby Ches like that?
What do you mean?
Like that's the reason you're going to Chick-fil-A?
No, I know she loves the hash browns, and I wanted my breakfast. We're going to go watch the DC Stars.
Well, that's my other favorite thing. Like as we're talking about Draymond, you guys can't stop talking. America loves fast food. Yeah. Why do you think it pops up everywhere?
Trust me, if I could talk about Taco Bell for 3 hours, I'd talk about Taco Bell.
I know,
for 3 hours.
but like that's my favorite. You should not eat McDonald's or Chick-fil-A because you know it's bad for you. It's like, then why do they sell 8 zillion burgers and spicy deluxe? Because we love it. Who are we kidding ourselves?
Exactly. Shout out to
it's delicious.
Suzette?
Susanna.
Yes,
the Ceremony Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A sauce is the best.
Yeah, I'm going to go see her today.
Oh.
Q, Mountain View.
Hey,
what's
Q.
happening? Q. Going once.
What up, Q?
Hey, I just wanted to touch real quick on when the JP and Draymond Green situation, right? So everybody talks about how, he was around family, so that's why his guards were down and stuff like that, and how, a caller earlier alluded to how, when you grew up in the city, somebody got too close to you, you let off that woo-wop and hit him with the 1-2, right? However, we don't know what JP said. You can be an even-keel person, very disciplined, but who knows better all your dark secrets than family, right? What button did he push to get Draymond to that point, to get him, chin checked like that?
Well, I don't know. We'll probably know over the next 3 years with the way everything gets leaked.
Oh, the book is going to be incredible.
Whoever pens
that book.
It's going to alter a lot of opinions. There's no doubt. Let's take one more call before the break.
Yep.
Let's go to Esteban in Oakland. Esteban, what's happening? You're on the roast.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Hey, real quick, man. See, what the caller just said about, what Poole said. Like I said last week, there's nothing Poole could have said. If it was about his kids, his wife, or his mom, Draymond would have ran over there and did what he did. But Draymond likes to talk. He said in his podcast he respects Poole because of the trash talking. So there's nothing Poole could have said that triggered Draymond. Draymond, we've seen how he acted with Weissman. So
how do they move forward, CJ? How do they move forward?
You can't. It's an embarrassment for Poole because, like you said, Bonte, the memes are out there. Every time Poole's on the floor trash talking, you don't think somebody in another team is going to say, "Hey, shut up before I Draymond you." Like,
I mean,
who knows, man? Who knows?
All right, we're going to go to break here. Explosive segment. Thanks for everybody hanging out with us. See, this is ridiculous. It's Dub Nation and Draymond versus you media guys. We're down for that. All right, dude. Like, we're not Warrior fans. Like, come on, man.
You know how much money I spent on this playoff run going to games?
How much Warrior?
You know how much money I spent?
How much Warrior stuff I've donated the last month? T-shirt, like, come on, man. It's ridiculous. Brad Graham, SF Niners. Let's talk Niners Falcons. Brad Graham coming up, brought to you by Fremont Bake. Full service baking, no compromises.
Opening night is less than a week away.
It's a 3, and it's money in the bank. Cold hard cash for Stephen Curry.
Here every 3.
Corner 3, Stephen Curry.
Every splash.
Thompson sets his feet, lets it fly, splash.
And every moment.
From a hot bench. Nobody in the association has scored more than Curry in a single game this year. He's got 48.
On the home of the champs.
Mother sucker.
95.7 The Game.
Hey, Becky, what about this beat for your next song?
It's cool, but I'm into faster stuff lately. Like Xfinity that gives me beyond gig speeds.
Got it. What about this then?
It sounds powerful, just like Xfinity. Because its supersonic Wi-Fi has 3 times the bandwidth, you can connect hundreds of devices at once.
That's what I call power.
Unbeatable internet from Xfinity. Made to do anything so you can do anything.
Get the Xfinity Supersonic Bundle with unlimited gig speed internet, Wi-Fi equipment included, and a free 4K streaming box. All for $50 a month with a 2-year internet rate guarantee and no annual contract when you add Xfinity Mobile with unlimited data at regular rates. Go to Xfinity.com/gig, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Limited time offer. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay. New gigabit extra internet customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Xfinity Mobile requires post-pay Xfinity internet. Reduced speeds after 20 gigabytes wireless usage. After 24 months, regular rates apply. Requires compatible Xfinity gateway.
Do you think all premium fuels are the same? Well, your engine doesn't. Shell V-Power Nitro Plus helps keep your engine running like new because it's engineered to defend against 4 main engine threats: gunk, wear, corrosion, and friction. So next time, choose Shell's most advanced fuel ever. It's fuel for thought. In engines that continuously use Shell V-Power Nitro Plus premium gasoline.
Everything, our farm, our stand, our pop-up shop, it really all started when we discovered the benefits of local, raw honey for our family.
And then we decided to turn it into a business.
We were looking for something to help us get up and running.
So we got the Chase Business Complete Banking Account.
It's more than a bank account. It comes with Quick Accept, which lets us take card payments anytime, anywhere in the U.S. using the Chase mobile app. Plus, we get same-day deposits at no extra cost. For us, it's more than honey. It's about sharing a little sweetness with the world.
Get the Chase Business Complete Banking Account with the essentials you need to help get your business going. Learn more at chase.com/business-complete-banking. Chase for business. Make more of what's yours. Quick Accept is not available in U.S. territories. Enrollment required. Usage subject to approval. Same-day deposits available for payments before 8 p.m. Eastern Time, Sunday to Friday. Fees and rates apply for checking and processing. Limitations and restrictions apply. Participants compensated. Merchant services provided by Payment Tech LLC and WePay Inc. Subsidiaries of J.P. Morgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC.
This is your time to cash in at Cash Creek Casino Resort. To rock and to roll. Over the hills and bluffs. Go all out or go all in. With 4 stars and rising stars. Now we do more than ever, so you can do as much or as little as you want. It's your time to cash in at Cash Creek Casino Resort.
Kirby is your driveway mechanic. They bring the shop to you with brake replacements, oil changes, washes, and so much more. Get $50 off your first oil change with code OIL50 at Kirby.com. That's CURBEE.com and use code OIL50.
Traveling, volunteering, spending time with family. What's your retirement look like? With income planning from Fidelity Wealth Management, a dedicated advisor can help you grow and protect your wealth. They'll look at your full financial picture and help you create a flexible strategy that considers things like market conditions and healthcare expenses, so you can stop worrying about the future and enjoy whatever comes next. Visit fidelity.com/income planning. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, member NYSE, SIPC.
Hey guys, this is Keenan Thompson. I have a problem with you. Yes, you. None of y'all told me that AutoTrader has millions of new and used cars that I can shop from home. I thought we were friends. I put smiles on your face, but I'm not smiling. No one told me that with AutoTrader, a dealer can deliver cars to my home or that I could shop by price on AutoTrader. No one. Consider this friendship that you just learned we had officially over. Finally, it's easy. AutoTrader.
Science proves your best sleep is vital to your mental, emotional, and physical health. The Sleep Number 360 smart bed senses your movements and automatically adjusts to help keep you both effortlessly comfortable. And it's temperature balancing, so you stay cool. So you're at your best for yourself and those you care about most. Life-changing sleep, only from Sleep Number. And now the Queen Sleep Number 360 C2 smart bed is only $9.99, plus special financing, only for a limited time. To learn more, go to sleepnumber.com. Special financing subject to credit approval. Minimum monthly payments required. See store for details.
Weather, some sunshine with a high of 60 degrees.
Weather brought to you by one thing. Don't buy plastic toys for your pet. Instead, look for natural materials like cotton, rope, wood, or bamboo. Join Odyssey, and together, each of us doing one thing makes a greener tomorrow.
Score big with Xfinity Internet. It's made to do anything, so you can do anything. Supercharge your home with the game-changing speed of supersonic Wi-Fi. With 3 times more bandwidth, it covers the field and then some. And blocks billions of threats with advanced security that helps keep you protected at home and on the go. If you're keeping score, that's internet that does it all. That's unbeatable internet from Xfinity. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas.
Now, back to the Morning Roast with Bonte and Shasky.
Oh, man, it's going to be a lot of fun. Everybody gets, for the people who are tired of Draymond Green, guess what? You get a little break. Get a little breaky break from Draymond Green. He'll return to practice today. But we'll definitely ask Brad Graham about Draymond Green.
Don't you want to grow up to be just like me?
He's a Warrior fan. We'll ask Brad Graham. I saw him tweet about the situation, so we will get a question in. But we want to talk some Niners, man. They're on their way to Atlanta. They're at the Greenbrier right now. They have a chance to win 3 in a row. 3 in a row. Go figure. And they're in first place in the NFC West and looking good right now. We do have to ask about the injuries. But Brad Graham is an offensive line specialist. SF Niners. Go find his content. It's some of the best content out there. 49ers got a lot of great content producers, but
had Patrick Willis on pregame.
I know. How sick is that?
It was ridiculous.
This guy gets better guests than us. What's up, Sam London? Brad Graham, what's happening? Good morning.
What's good, fellas? Thank you for having me on, man. I really appreciate it.
Anytime, brother. Anytime, man. And let me ask you right off the rip, Brad, this offensive line, we looked at them in training camp. We said they were the weak link of the team. After week 1, we're like, damn, they're looking suspect. Week 3 in Denver, oh, boy, Jimmy's getting killed. Jalen Moore is now playing for Trent Williams. But now this offensive line seems like it's gelling a bit, and I want to have you on here just to give them that credit. Aaron Banks, Brindle, Burford. I didn't mention their names last week, which I think is a good thing.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the thing that we talk about, the offensive line, too, because it's basically a team within the team, right? You got 5 guys playing up front. They do need time to gel, and you have 3 guys on the interior who are really getting their first crack as being full-time starters. One of them a rookie, one a second-year player, and you got a journeyman vet in Brendel, but they're all kind of playing for their first time here. And we're starting to see, once they're getting more reps, more opportunities, things are starting to fall into place. And I do got to give credit to Jalen Moore, especially considering how he looked in Denver, to be able to come back and bounce back, especially against a guy like Brian Burns, who's one of the elite edge rushers in the NFL. You've got to give credit to this offensive line. You had Jeff Wilson bust out for 120 yards rushing. Tevin Coleman re-entered the party. And a lot of that had to do with how the guys were opening up holes up front. So I got to give a lot of credit to the 49ers offensive line, considering, there's a bit of a question mark there heading into this season. So they've been doing a good job so far.
Yeah, and I felt like Jimmy Garoppolo was so rhythmic. I love the way they were mixing it up, throwing on early downs, getting the ball out quicker. It just felt like, I don't know. I mean, I know that they didn't have an offensive explosion in terms of passing the ball, but it felt like the most fun I've had watching this offense because all the playmakers felt like they were getting touches in a really long time.
I mean, we saw Jimmy Garoppolo throwing outside the numbers. We saw him challenging defenders deep. We saw him really facilitating the football to all the different types of receivers that they have. And I think when you look at 49ers football and you see Jimmy Garoppolo playing like that, it really is kind of inspiring because we know Jimmy can show a different side to things. And to get that type of ball from Jimmy Garoppolo, where he's given Tevin Coleman one-on-one opportunities on the outside, and he's threading the football in between defenders, that's the type of football that we want to see from Jimmy Garoppolo. Yeah. He's capable, but I think what we got to see is can he do that consistently? And if he can, San Francisco 49ers offense could be pretty fun to watch moving forward.
Yeah, Brad Graham at SF Niners. Follow him on YouTube at SF Niners, Twitter at Graham_SFN. Some of the best 49ers content you'll find. Patrick Willis was on the pregame show before they played the Carolina Panthers. And you're right about Jimmy. Thread the needle, throw it with velocity. Let his playmakers have a chance to make a play. That's all we want. I remember the Crabtree quote when they lost to the New York Giants back in the NFC Championship game where he said, sometimes you got to just let your playmakers make a play. Yep. And I think we saw that from Jimmy. I do want to fast forward to the injuries, though, Brad. How concerning are these injuries? Because that, to me, is the only thing that can derail this whole thing when you look at the landscape in the NFC. Cowboys, Eagles, Niners, I think those are the top three teams, but you got to be healthy. These injuries are starting to pile up.
I feel like we've been talking about it for years at this point. The only way the 49ers are going to lose is if they suffer injuries or defeat themselves by not playing fundamentally sound football. Mm-hmm. And this last week, obviously, you lose Emmanuel Mosley, who I think is one of the most underrated 49ers on the team. I think he was playing his highest level of football to this point. E-Man, across from Charvarius Ward,
yeah.
I think Ward really brought another element to that room, and E-Man was matching it, and they were both playing phenomenally. And E-Man doesn't get enough credit, and it is going to be extremely difficult to replace him. The benefit that the 49ers have this year opposed to last year is they have depth now, opposed to they had rookie Diamador Lenore, rookie Ambry Thomas. They had to bring in Josh Norman off the streets, Drake Kirkpatrick. Well, this year, they're in a little bit of different situation, and we're going to see, is Jason Verrett going to be back this week? And if he is, what type of level will he play at? Because we've seen, going back to 2020, he's played at he's played at a Pro Bowl caliber level before returning from injury. We'll see if we get the same thing. But you have that benefit of the doubt, and you have these other young cornerbacks with a full year of experience. So we're going to see if it's going to be Samuel Womack, Diamador Lenore, Ambry Thomas, or Jason Verrett. But yeah, that to me is an absolutely big loss, losing E-Man.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, and hopefully they can find a way to get through these injuries. Nick Bosa, I would probably sit him just to get him healthy so he's right when it comes playoff time.
Well, how many D linemen's going to suit up this week? They're all on the injury
cluster
report.
Injuries. Charles Omenihu, don't sleep on my guy.
Yeah, he is good.
And Drake Jackson.
Yeah, I like him.
Brad, let me ask you a fun one, because I'm looking in the background. You had Patrick Willis on your pregame show last week, and I see the Patrick Willis jersey in the background. It's a twofold thing. I look back on those 49ers from Harbaugh era, and I go, God, I wish they would have made a deal for a wide receiver like Deshaun Jackson. Which core are you taking? The Harbaugh core of players or this Shanahan last 3-4 year core of players if push came to shove?
That's really difficult, but that Harbaugh core was special, man. I mean, I was talking with Patrick Willis, man, before the show, and I'm like, I was just talking about the defense that he was on. I was like, man, you had Justin Smith in front of you. You had Alden Smith in front of you. You had Ahmad Brooks. You had Bowman playing next to you. Then behind you have Whitner and Deshaun Goldson. And, I was like, oh, man. I was like, it was just such a good team. And you had Frank Gore in the offensive line in 2012 was just maulers. and you had peak Vernon Davis.
Mm-hmm.
So
Delaney Walker,
dude, even Kendall Hunter out there, man, was making plays.
My guy,
I love Kendall.
So like, it's a great conversation. I think it actually is up for debate, but right now, my heart, man, really was solidified with those 2011, 2015s, man.
Yeah.
With how much talent they had, Vic Fangio leading the way. They just had so much depth too on that defensive side that it's hard to bet against that 2012 core that they had.
And that's kind of where I'm going with this. So, you look back on that, you're like, God, I wish they would have had a receiver. Like, they needed one more playmaker, or maybe they needed a secondary player looking back on it because they got crushed in the Super Bowl by Bolden. So I'm looking at this year's team, and I'm saying to myself, they have an opportunity. The West feels open. The NFC feels open. Odell Beckham's out there. You can sign him as a free agent. Christian McCaffrey's out there. I would trade draft picks to bring him in. I think he's the perfect playmaker to add to Debo and everything they got going. If you had to choose between the two, do you lean more go after a receiver or go after Christian McCaffrey?
I mean, Christian McCaffrey is still an extremely electric player. I got to really, kind of watch him on tape against the 49ers this past week, and he still got it. Like, his jump step, he just levitates through the hole. And then he just punches it through. He's a special player, and regardless of what the perception may be with the injuries, he is really phenomenal, and he's still got it. He's still got the juice. So if it came to it, if I had the choice, out of those two, I'm definitely going Christian McCaffrey, 10 out of 10 on that one. You put Christian McCaffrey running behind this offensive line, the 49ers are doing damage, man.
Well, that's the thing. We're talking to Brad Graham, SF Niners. Follow him at SF Niners. You will not regret it. He has some of the best Niners content out there in the business. No joke. Seriously, I learned a lot from just watching his breakdowns on offensive line play, defensive line play, all of it. When you think about McCaffrey, because my thing was that Joe, look, you've whiffed on third-round picks. You've whiffed on second-round picks. You've been trying to find running backs forever. You signed a running back that didn't work out in Jerick McKinnon. Well, you know what? These picks in the future feels like this window's wide open right now, and who knows who you may play in the Super Bowl. But with the NFC wide open, why not go all in now? And I don't know how much it costs for Christian McCaffrey, but I think about the stress on the defense, right? You get Christian McCaffrey underneath. All of a sudden, the seam routes are open for George Kittle. All of a sudden, Ayuk is getting one-on-one down the field. Debo Samuel has a little more space to work with when you added Christian McCaffrey, and I think that's the missing element. All those years, we talk about the Harbaugh teams and the Shanahan teams. Doesn't it always feel like they're one playmaker short? Like, especially in that Rams game. One playmaker short where the Rams had Beckham, Kupp, and Higbee, or whatever backup tight end they had coming in there catching passes.
Well, the beauty of CMC is he is a wide back, so you don't need Debo Samuel to play out of the backfield anymore. You can use him in his traditional role in the slot, wherever you want to use him, because Christian McCaffrey is a phenomenal pass catcher as well. He can run the Texas and choice routes out of the backfield. You can shift them out wide. He can do all the things as a pass catcher. You could use him the same exact way as they use Debo Samuel, but now you got two of those types of guys on the roster. I mean, if it came down to it, and the San Francisco 49ers somehow got their hands on Christian McCaffrey, brought him back to the Bay Area, of course, the Stanford kid, reunited with Kyle Shanahan with the connections they've made with his Christian's pops and all that good stuff. It would be a lot of fun to watch. And, the 49ers, you get Elijah Mitchell, Jeff Wilson in there, even Tevin Coleman. Talk about a four-headed monster at running back.
What is something we have to worry about with the Falcons this upcoming Sunday? Kyle Pitts is back in practice. We know about Drake London. Mariota's a veteran. We know what type of quarterback he is. But defensively, offensively, break down the Falcons for us, Brad. Why should we be worried about the Falcons on Sunday?
I honestly, heading into this game, I look at the Falcons. They're 2-3 right now.
Yep.
They're I would say they're the kind of the epitome of a mediocre team right now. The biggest thing that you have to worry about is playing that East Coast game. Obviously, the 49ers are at the Greenbrier doing all that good stuff. So they're going to be acclimated. Their body clocks are going to be ready. So it's not a big of an issue this week. But they're on the road. When I really look at that team, I feel like their offensive line can be beat. I think they got a bottom-half offensive line in the NFL. I think the best skill player that they have on their position or on their team is Cordell Patterson. He's on IR right now. And I don't know if they're going to be able to have a really strong balance of run and pass. So if they get one-dimensional, even if, let's say, Nick Bosa doesn't go, Charles Omenihu is still top 5 in win rate when rushing the passer. So they're still going to find ways to get after him. And, Kyle Pitts, he's a phenomenal talent. He really hasn't been able to shake free this year. Drake London is also a phenomenal talent, but same thing with him. He hasn't really been able to explode with consistency. So, I don't want to be too confident heading into this game, but I also do think that the 49ers, if they play their brand of football, especially we get the Jimmy Garoppolo that we saw consistently being able to spread the ball around, being able to open up running lanes, the 49ers should win this game. But we understand any given Sunday, anything can happen.
Yeah, just don't turn the ball over. You should be fine. Just don't turn the ball over. Real quickly, Brad, because you were commenting on Draymond Green. I know you're a big sports fan. What'd you make of the situation? You've been in a lot of locker rooms. You played at a high level. What'd you think of the situation, Brad?
It was definitely nuts to hear about Draymond and the situation that went down. I've been a fan of the Warriors for a long time. I remember the night that Draymond got drafted in the second round was one of my favorite picks by the Warriors. So I've been a Draymond guy from the very beginning. But man, to clock your own guy, that's tough, man. And especially for it to leak out and become public the way it has, it's obviously going to compound and create a big stir. So I do know they've been talking about getting him an extension and all that type of thing. But it's going to be really interesting to see how it plays out. But to just see it's a bit jarring, especially for a guy like Jordan Poole, who's a really ascending player within the organization. And kind of Draymond's maybe on the tail end. He's still got some juice left, but he's kind of on the tail end, it feels like. And the timing of it, it's crazy, man. It was really crazy to see.
Brad, you're always good to us, my man. We love your work.
Yeah.
We love what
Great
you do
stuff.
at SF Niners. It's one of the best accounts out there. Brad at sfniners.com. Find him on YouTube at the SF Niners. Has a lot of great guests on. Players respect him. 49er fans respect him. Pumps out great content. We can't wait to see what you got cooked up after the Atlanta game. Brad, always good talking to you, brother.
Butch Bonte, appreciate you guys.
Anytime, Brad Graham. Also on Cron 4 on Sundays, man. Doing it with Jason Dumas and Kate Rooney, man.
What
doing the damn
doesn't
thing.
Dumas do?
What doesn't Brad Graham do?
Yeah, that's true.
Both of them.
So I think his point at the end is the one where I'm at today. I got to see how this plays out. So I guess the question is, how does this play out for the Warriors?
Yeah. For both. Niners and the Warriors.
But specifically the Warriors. How does this play out?
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's Steph Curry, man. When you have Steph Curry in the locker room, his power and his presence, I think, will help the Warriors overcome this. The fact that Steph Curry spoke and supported Jordan Poole the day after it happened. The fact that I saw Marcus Thompson write an article saying that the leaders in that locker room were not happy about that. The fact that Kevon Looney is speaking out, which tells me that Steph is giving him the juice. In Steph, I trust. In Kerr, I trust. In Myers, I trust. Now, short term, the culture, the credibility of the culture, it's going to take a hit. No doubt. They're taking a hit. They all are. What do you do in a situation, though? Like, 2 weeks before the season, you're not going to just sit here and say, all right, let's dial up the GM to Orlando or Charlotte. Hey, you want Draymond Green? You're not going to do that.
No.
That's silly.
Take Oubre back?
Yeah, you're not going to do that. Let's get real, folks. You're not trading Draymond
joke,
Green.
please.
Oh, I know that.
Okay.
I know. To the audience.
Yeah.
We're not going to do that. Draymond's going to play. And you need Day. And that's what I was talking yesterday, man. When he gets rolling and he's huffing and puffing and he's out there barking, we love that Draymond. We've grown to love him. Sure, we are deterred by the actions, some by the referees, yelling at teammates. I didn't like the way James Wiseman was yelled at his rookie year by Draymond Green. I didn't like it. Didn't. Thought there could be a better way to lead, to talk to him, to communicate. But the last piece to the puzzle is Jordan Poole.
Well, and
that's it.
If they have any kind of slippage at any point,
this will be brought back up.
The Wolves are going to be out. Yep. I mean, they're going to be out, and it's going to be fair to critique every single thing. If they have a 4 or 5 game losing streak, or let's say they lose 7 out of 12 or something like that,
right?
You don't think that people are going to be going, what the hell's going on? They're going to be questioning their chemistry at every single turn.
Every single turn. It's unfortunate. That's the world we live in now, though. Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. Everybody's going to be sitting there just blowing up every screenshot, facial expression. The lip readers are going to be out there It's going to be there. I personally don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. I want to talk about the way this team is going to just eviscerate NBA teams. I can't wait. Everybody's talking about the Nuggets and the Clippers and the Mavericks and all these other teams. And I just want to see the Warriors smoke these dudes. And now the talking point is, man, if Milwaukee made the NBA Finals, Warriors probably don't win it. Well, you know what? We'll bring on the Bucks then. I want to see Milwaukee.
Michael Porter Jr. is a guy, just real quick aside, just bear with me here. Michael Porter Jr. is a guy everybody's enamored with physically. I'm telling you right now, I'm getting PBJ, give him a couple years. Yeah. We're going to be talking about him the way we talk about Michael Porter Jr. And I think his feel for what a good shot is for half-court offense is so much better than where he is. And I also think his actual shot is cleaner.
It's pure.
Way more pure. I'm telling you, because body-wise, I'm talking about big dudes that can move and can handle the ball the way. I think a lot of Durant, come on, Durant's an all-time legend. Like, throw him way out there. PBJ, I think he's going to be a player in this league. It's going to take time. Well, I can see what they saw in him.
Well, then you get Ryan Rollins.
I'm so excited about him.
Ryan Rollins looks nice.
You like him?
Oh, I do like him.
I like him too.
I can't wait to see what he does in the G League. Probably not going to get a lot of minutes this year, but those days of Steph, Dre, Clay, Iguodala don't play, we'll see the youngsters.
Yeah.
And think about some of our favorite games last season. The game in San Antonio, where Steph's on the sideline in street clothes, jumping up and down after Moody dies on the floor to give JP the ball, give Damian Lee the ball to JP in the corner for a game-winning three. But that game in South Beach, Miami, where Kuminga's ducking on everybody, and he's dropping 20, and Jordan Poole's hitting shots, and he's going ballistic in the third quarter. And then you get James Wiseman in the two-man game. And we haven't even got the Wiseman, and Clay, and Looney, and most of all, we haven't got the Steph Curry. Coming off of those finals. I'm excited about that. So if you think we want to talk about the touchdowns heard around the world, no, we don't.
I wrote down like 15 different topics as narratives for the season, right? And the number one was obviously like, can this team repeat? You know what number two was?
What's that?
What's the encore for Steph Curry?
I know. Because he had one of the best years ever. And the year's still continuing.
He had a down year, quote unquote.
Shooting from three-point line.
But that's my point.
And then he gets to the finals and he takes home the Bill Russell MVP award.
Started coming off the bench in the playoffs because he hurt himself right down the stretch. And it's as if we've completely forgotten about it.
And to set the tone. Think about the panic meter and what was happening up until the playoffs.
He's in a video game that is a golf-related video game where he's a character. That's how incredible his year was.
So then, you think about all the losses, right? We'll all miss Gary Payton II. It was cool to see Klay Thompson wear Gary Payton II button on the sideline. That was cool. GP2 will be missed. We love GP2, Young Glove.
I'm worried about Klay. And I know, Joe, you're always worried.
You're always worried about Klay.
What's going on here?
They're taking their time.
Yeah, you could say that, but something's up. Let's just put it this way. I'm not red flagging it, but I'm monitoring it.
All right, monitor it.
All right, I'm like the Minions. I've got those little goggles.
Clay's going to drop 35 in a game on Saturday night. They're going to be, oh my God, Klay Thompson. Don't do this again. Bob Myers asking me if you were okay.
Well, Bob knows I ride and die. But
you run hot.
Sometimes I die.
Clay's going to be fine.
I was also first to the Jordan Poole trough.
No, you weren't first. You were not first.
Lapping up that water.
You were not first to the Jordan Poole trough. You got in. Jordan Poole, you didn't start him. Start him over Clay. It's like, dude, it was, I remember the Milwaukee.
Get in there,
Saturday night against Milwaukee. We're on a text thread. And Shatsky texts, I know who's going to be, I know Draymond and Steph, I know Steph and Poole are going to be part of the Final Five lineup, but who else? And I said, dude, calm down. And Klay Thompson lit up the Milwaukee Bucks. You're like, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that about Klay Thompson.
Yeah, I was right about Poole, though. Pool's he's there.
Pool's up and down in playoffs,
I know.
He's up and down in playoffs.
He was their second best offensive player throughout the totality of last year.
In the regular season?
Yes. Absolutely.
Playoffs?
No, it changed in the playoffs. Yeah. I thought Wiggins ascended like crazy,
right.
And other guys stepped forward. I would also make an argument that I didn't see Kevon Looney stepping up to being. To me, Kevon Looney.
I think that was my trough that you were first on.
What?
When it came to Jordan Poole. To play a game, I was like, man, you see Jordan Poole shoot that three at Staples Center in the quarter? Hey, he took that shot. Memphis, he took that shot. Nobody's thinking about Jordan Poole.
For your ego and as we work as teammates and the chemistry.
You steal credit from me all the time.
You're right.
No.
Right.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Right.
Don't do that.
Put down whatever you want on the scorecard.
No.
That's my dad's most disrespectful way of being. I go, what'd you get on that hole, Joe? I got a par. Yeah, you put down whatever you want on that hole.
Yeah. No, that's what you do.
That's him saying that he thinks that you took a.
You know what?
Preferred
you can have all
lie.
the credit. You can have all the credit. We all know, though, who didn't panic last year. Right, Lubman? Who didn't panic?
Oh, definitely no one on this show because, we definitely didn't have a meter for that every day.
Yeah, exactly. But, I get called the company man for that. Oh, you're just a company man. You're not allowed to panic.
You were just Mr. Positivity last spring.
Because I knew what time it was. Anybody to see Draymond, Clay, and Steph in a 7-game series, think about this. Under Steve Kerr, the Golden State Warriors have not lost one series in the Western Conference. Under Steve Kerr, they own the Western Conference.
Money time!
Nobody wanted to hear that.
Money time!
I got Steph, Clay, Trey, Looney, Wiggins. We played the cut. Instagram Live when Wiggins got traded. Wiggins is going to be a good fit. Oh, Wiggins traded for this guy. The guy outside of Steph was the second best player in the NBA Finals. So, yeah, I am fired up for Warriors basketball. And I can't wait. It may never blow over, the Draymond Jordan Poole situation. It may never blow over. But I'm telling you, I'm talking about James Wiseman's development. Stephen Curry. Warriors basketball's back. It puts a smile on my face. Niners are winning. Puts a smile on my face. I'm a happy guy right now, Shasky. Aren't you happy?
I'm happy. You're always right. I'm trying to learn.
No. I'm not always right. We got the job. I'm wrong all the time. Just a lot of you people around these parts don't like to admit when you're wrong, including the guy who's coming in the changeover. I'm kidding.
Unnecessary bullet.
I'm kidding. Let's flex. Odell Beckham Jr. is lingering.
I want him.
And listen.
I want him. He killed us in the NFC Championship game.
I don't think there's any chance he goes back to the Rams now.
Now that they're hurting?
They're hurting. I'm ready to stick a fork in the Rams. I did it last year. It backfired. Of course, they won the Super Bowl.
Just wait a little then.
But they don't look good.
And if you go get Odell, it costs you nothing but money. Money.
That they have.
And it also gives you an insurance policy. We talk so much about their depth.
Right.
If something does happen to Debo or Ayuk and they miss a game or two, boy, it'd be nice to have another playmaker.
I just want more playmakers on the field.
I'm with you.
I just want more threats on the field.
The Flex of the Show, presented by Xfinity Flex, the 4K streaming TV box with voice remote and Peacock Premium, free with Xfinity Internet.
See, I like that. We were both right. Nice little ping pong on the flex.
You gonna make it through the last 10 minutes or so of this show?
Yeah, I'll be fine.
Oh, a little phlegm action?
Well,
little phlegm and M?
I'm fine. I'm good. Trying this new instant coffee for the first time. I got to be in and out. I don't have time in the morning to be.
So is it powdery? Is that what it is? And
Instant roast. Folgers, What'd you say, Love It?
Folgers? What are you, like a 92-year-old Irish lady?
And a
flavor crystals.
I mean, my God, Folgers. That's what my grandma would drink.
Well, that's
Shout out
that. That like $11 vodka in a gallon. That's like pipe cleaner.
That's what Anna
tab.
bought. That's what Anna bought. And it came in the room last night. Oh, you don't need to go to Starbucks anymore. Here's some Folgers instant coffee. You can save some time on your morning commute. Thanks, smart.
Yeah.
She's smart. Thanks, babe.
Now, if Folgers wants to sponsor us, it would be the best coffee I've ever had.
$6 for a coffee every day now, and our parents are like that. It used to be 6 weeks.
Yeah,
6 weeks of coffee for $6. Right. I can't hate on that.
We actually,
Shasky's a hater.
We got this thing called Nespresso.
I love that.
People love that.
We're waiting on our Nespresso machine to come back.
Oh, okay.
Because it started making a lot of noise. You wake up the baby, and it's just like, it's just not doing it.
Yeah, you know about them early rises. You can't wake the family up.
No, you really can't. And
like a burglar.
Used to brew my own here.
How much sleep last night?
Last night was rough. Okay. Baby Milo was up from 11:40 till about 3:15.
Ouch.
Yeah.
The best.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm just waiting on Timeless Coffee to send me my new batch. Timeless Coffee's instant coffee is really good.
Not Star Wars Bad Batch.
No.
That's a 3.
Yeah, I'm trying.
You crammed it in. I'm feeling generous today.
I'm not a Star Wars guy.
Just want to tell you guys while we're on the food and drink topic.
What's that? You're going to buy us lunch?
No, today was tough. At 8:23, everything changed with regard to my opinion of the morning roast.
Oh.
At 8:23 this morning. They're trying to drive in. It's
dramatic.
Dramatic. Now I'm worried. I have no idea this sounds like the boss at 8:23.
At 8:23, I looked at the clock because I'm like, this changes everything.
Everything.
Look, we get a lot of stuff coming our way in this business. We're very, very blessed.
Yeah,
and I can look at my 3 children and be like, I might be able to help out with some Warriors tickets every now and again.
Whoop.
Maybe we could go to a 49er game if you want.
Whoop, whoop.
I can take you underneath Oracle Park.
I feel like I'm getting the dad talk I never got as a kid.
It's set up right now.
Come sit on his lap.
I can get you to an Oakland Roots game. At Laney College.
You guys know this.
I may break his leg if I sit on his lap. You boys packing some pounds these days.
I'm not a jealous human being. You guys know this, okay?
Okay.
But if it's true that the morning roast has an in with Susanna at Chick-fil-A
Thank you, Mark.
in Serramonte, there is absolutely no cred I could have with my kids.
I'm so with you.
Bigger than this. So I had to bring it up before we got to 9 o'clock. Because if Susanna's only listening from 6 to 9, I've never been more jealous in my life. Susanna, Willard and Dibs takes it at lunchtime. I just want to let you know now.
Oh, Susanna.
If you, my gosh, I know, like, are you, you
Chicken
guys,
is for lunch, Susanna.
you got juice with Chick-fil-A at Serramonte? My kid would look at me like I'm Jesus himself.
They're trying to
If
one pip our sponsor.
My man.
I don't blame
No,
them.
you could be the sponsor, but I just
Chick-fil-A.
I need to ride your tails.
That's so good.
Next time, come on, Bonte. Next time you're driving through Serramonte, I just need to be in the trunk or something.
You want to be in the Batmobile?
Let me ask you guys a question.
I'll be robbing. I'll be robbing. That's fine.
So I've grown up in obviously in San Francisco and the Bay Area. We didn't have a Chick-fil-A. I'd see the commercials all over. The same thing with Sonics. I would see the commercials all over. I'm like, I don't get it. What is this Chick-fil-A thing? I was up in Santa Rosa. Tommy Call, who used to work at this station's like, you got to try Chick-fil-A. So I went there one day and I converted. This was like 4 or 5 years ago, all right? Full convert. My dad, Chick-fil-A? What is Chick-fil-A? So he goes next door one day after we go golfing up there. He gets a pizza, takes a couple bites, comes in to the Chick-fil-A with someone else's pizza, which I thought was kind of like a no-no.
Yeah.
Right?
I feel like your dad has a few of those a week, though, right? Your whole family.
He's the Frisco Larry
You don't
David.
worry about, right? You guys don't stop to worry about how everything looks all the time, do you?
100%.
Oh, he does.
Just my perception.
You should hear the sideshow that's being released a little bit later. We have a show after the show called The Sideshow where we talk about anything but sports.
Oh.
And Shasky, we'll just let you live.
I like it.
You can only find it where you find our podcast. So anyway, point being is we're sitting there eating, and I go, Dad, take a bite. It's the spicy deluxe is undefeated, never lost. You know, LeVar Ball, it was very popular at the time. He took one bite and goes, throws the pizza away, walks up, orders 2 spicy deluxe. So last night
he
after
orders 2.
I'm not joking. And extra pickles.
Yeah, it goes to, you got to go to spicy deluxe and then a regular deluxe.
If we're anywhere near a Chick-fil-A, he has to stop and get one. He thinks it's the greatest thing ever, and I don't disagree with him.
Yeah.
Listen, I like everything. I'll eat almost anything. So it's not even that. This is really just wanting to be a legitimate dad to my children. They couldn't give a rip about anything that I can provide them in life. I don't even know if they care about going to college, but if I told them, hey, we got an in at the Serramonte Chick-fil-A, they'll be in the car before I'm done with the sentence.
I just went there the first time because I'm in 32 years no meat, and so now I'm kind of getting back into like what's all this all about. I was in the Tucson airport. Tucson airport, about an hour and change before the flight, and you go to the food court, and it's like, we got options.
Yeah,
and
Sparrow.
I said to my lady, supper. It was lunch, by the way. It wasn't
Mark.
supper. Yeah, so I don't think they had a Sbarro, but Sbarro is usually one I go to.
Yeah.
Greasy ass.
The knots.
Oh, my
Hey,
gosh.
come on, we've all eaten it.
Come on.
I saw the Chick-fil-A.
I didn't say I didn't.
Yeah.
I did. So you tried it for the first time.
Tried it.
What'd you get?
I think I got one of those various sandwiches.
Yeah,
I don't even know which one I got.
Sandwich.
Give me the chicken sandwich.
Yeah,
and
this gets really good.
It's delicious.
It is good.
It was just a delicious chicken sandwich. And so next time I was in the airport, caught me on a Sunday. I walked up. I'm like,
oh my God,
Sunday.
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A, you got me on a Sunday.
It's
Yeah.
the worst, isn't it?
Hey, by the way, hash browns are underrated too.
I've never had them.
Okay.
That's with the meal.
I've never had the breakfast there.
You just get this.
I always go spicy deluxe.
A lot of
I'm a
people.
spicy, and the waffle fries are on.
You're one of those weird people that has chicken sandwiches for lunch.
Yes,
I like
exactly.
Yeah, and so do we, Susanna, 9 to noon.
That's right.
Sorry.
How you doing, Susanna?
Yeah, totally.
That's 9:03. Susanna's gone.
What's your
Fun
sauce? What's your sauce? Chick-fil-A sauce?
I don't go
Polynesian?
sauce.
What?
I don't go sauce.
No sauce?
No sauce.
Yeah.
No sauce.
On the
That
fries?
surprises me.
No sauce Gardner
I'm a
over
weird
here.
guy when it comes to
Think of
fries.
this
I don't
thing.
like ketchup
Wow.
on my fries.
That's a 4.
That is a 4. That's good. No ketchup on fries. Nothing. I like French fries plain. Give me the salt. Give me the grease.
Yeah.
That's it.
No ketchup on fries. I'm the same way. No ketchup on fries. Yeah.
At all?
Overrated.
Occasionally ranch. But,
Tater tots?
yeah. I mean, I don't eat a lot of tots, but those are my tots. And a little Napoleon Dynamite. Dude, those are my tots. Ketchup occasionally, but usually I'm like Bonte. I prefer the grease and the salt.
Okay.
Straight to it.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I like the Chick-fil-A sauce with the fries. I think it's excellent.
Yeah. I can't remember what sauce I went to, but I know next time I'm down at Ceremony Mall.
Exactly.
Tell them Bonte sent you.
When I go to Dick's Sporting Goods, don't forget Dick's and Party City and Target, and we see all of you. That's right, Dave and Buster's. We love you too.
All right. What are you guys getting into today?
Oh, okay. First of all, Mike Silver and Rick Barry are both going to be on.
Oh, Rick Barry.
Well, okay, so couple things. First off, I want to address
in or out of
Rick
the shower?
Barry's right out the gate.
9:30?
Right out the gate.
Right out the gate.
Right out the gate. Would love to get his perspective on everything we've been talking about, but I also want to say to you guys, and I know you were sort of trying to say you do not need to apologize to anybody for talking about Draymond Green. Like this whole idea of whatever happens on social media, and we've got, look, the bottom line is we in 2022 have way too much access
100%
to what people are saying and thinking about our show because each one of them individually is just one person. So, of course, we're going to get 1,000 people on YouTube or Twitter or whatever. Will you guys just move on? No, because like for every person who says that, there are 1,000 who aren't moving on. And by the way, America, no, you don't want to hear about the X's and O's of the Golden State Warriors 5 days before tip-off. You don't want to hear about that. Draymond Green went off, hauled off, and punched a beloved teammate. I got a news flash for you. This isn't going anywhere all year.
I know.
Yeah.
But Mark, I think the bigger
Dave Fleming on your show was amazing.
I know.
As always, but amazing with the way he talked about how it does feel like this is the ushering in of the end. And we are going to be here for
100%.
every step of that journey. This is a massive story. And I'm not going to take any of the media is hanging on to this.
Yeah,
Stop it.
Well,
this is a massive story.
Like I was telling Dibs during the last break, we act like the fans are not going to screenshot everything, blow it up and lip read. Think about the Jimmy Garoppolo lip reading game in Denver. Media didn't break that. That was a fan who looked at that and said, "Oh, Jimmy Garoppolo looks like he's tired of Shanahan's plays." He says Shanahan plays suck. That was a fan. You don't think fans are going to do that all year long? I'm not going to be looking at every handshake between Poole and Draymond because I do want to watch the X's and O's. I do want to see how Wiseman's moving or Curry, what he's doing at the age of 34, going into 35. I want to see how Clay's moving around.
But there's a thirst for the other stuff.
Cloud of Draymond, yes, you're right, Mark.
Well,
it's not going anywhere.
I mean, the Jimmy thing, there's a salacious nature, and did our imagination run amok? I'm here for that criticism if y'all want, but this is not imagination.
No.
He hit him. He hit him.
Mark, at softball last night, everyone, it's all they want to talk about. They're asking me, they're pepping. I'm like, you guys know what I know.
Dude, E in San Jose called us today. I said, E, are you and your buddies talking about it? He goes, dude, at my softball game, a caller, the umpire asked me about it 13 times. Everybody's talking about it. The umpire.
I'm at the dentist yesterday. Shout out Bill Cavalli in Berkeley. Tell him Dib sent you. Don't go after the Chick-fil-A.
Tell you what.
Dr. Peter, they all listen to us.
I'm in the chair, and Cavalli, love him, great dentist. I'm mouth open, and he's going to work. What do you think? What do you think about the punishment? And I'm like, first, I'm thinking to myself, dude, I can't answer. I can't answer. You got tools in the mouth right now. You're going to work on my tartar. Shout out, no cavities. But good for you. That's always my thing. Thank you. Yeah. It's always my thing with the dentist. It's like, I would love to talk to you if you want to like get a beer at some time. Now's not the time, dude. You want to go sign language on you?
For everybody here in this room and everybody else in our industry, if you're a radio host and then the industry spits you out, be a dentist. Because that's what all of us want to be. We want to talk to somebody who can't respond.
And make $500
unbelievable. Seriously, every dentist I've ever known, Dr. McConnell, I know you're listening.
Shout him out.
Absolutely love to sit there and talk sports. And you're like, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. But to your point, I mean, everybody, it's the thing that we're all talking about. And tomorrow in the preseason game, we're not going to be looking at the at the 1-4 pick and roll and how they're doing on inbounds plays.
The flat 4?
Split action?
Exactly.
We got time for all this.
We got top blocking. Come on, Dibs, you know where I'm going.
Stop. I can't even go there.
I've seen 17 people punch each other in a game.
I can't even stand it. Tomorrow we're going to be looking at Draymond Green, and Jordan Poole. That's what we're gonna be. And it's a preseason game.
You're not going to talk about the speckle belly on the field at Dodger Stadium?
Oh my God,
speckle belly. Oh my gosh,
that was great.
That was fantastic.
It was awesome.
I was mad that they took him. Just play the game.
I'm surprised PETA isn't because the way you stuffed him into a garbage can.
I know, they threw that thing in a garbage can. I'm like,
more outrage.
I'm just mad if the Dodgers just score 4 runs. Saw your boy needed last night.
Well, if it was here in the Giants, all of a sudden somebody has that thing as a pet, and it's like the rally bunny or whatever.
Alexa the bunny.
And if it was the Astros, they would have turned the can over and started banging on it. There's all kinds of stuff that could have happened.
PETA. It's Mark Willard.
Pete Petula might bring that to the Niners, to the Giants.
Pete Petula, 11:30 tomorrow. Willard and Dibs.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it Petula or Patella?
It's Patella, by the way. Yeah, it's Patella.
No, we're all learning together.
Well, no, it's a U that's pronounced as an E. Just think of it.
Okay.
Yeah, think of it like an injury with the 49ers. It's a patella.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Damn.
Sorry. Too soon?
Yeah,
yes.
really too soon.
Yeah,
so Rick Barry, 9:30.
Rick Barry. So we'll get through that, and then I'd love to pitch this guy's.
I can't wait for Rick Barry. What is he going to say?
Well, okay.
I would have punched him back.
You know that happens all the time in the 70s. Let me tell you, I got punched.
Hands fly in pickleball all the time.
Come on, people.
He did have a moment in the 70s in ABA where they went into the stands. I don't know if it was him, but I remember him.
Against the Pistons.
Yeah, I remember him telling that story.
Always against
in the ABA, he said that the crowd, they went in, because this was during the Stack Jack fight. I remember him explaining at the time, oh, no, that happened many times.
It did.
Yeah.
We played it on the pregame show last year. In Detroit, Rick Barry.
Yes.
And Rick Barry did it. Was Paul. It was Al Addles trying to. It was fans. It was wild. It was for the fight lasted like 12 minutes. And guess what? 12 minutes. Nobody received a technical foul. Nobody got thrown out the game. It just played on.
This is one thing. This is one thing I always and just the debate where it pops to mind. Not that I want to go here, but because I don't ever want to do it again. But the whole MJ LeBron stuff. One thing that I always give to, for instance, a LeBron in that conversation is the fact that athletes and what we're talking about, people like us, every human being listening to us, there is a completely different dynamic now that our world is being taped.
Thank you, Mark.
And that there is social media to talk about it and show it
every step
and make it go viral every step of the way. And so we've all got to get used to that. You're watching the Warriors in real time deal with the frustration of, by and large, 30-something, 40-something, and 50-something, Steve Kerr, Bob Myers, whatever, year-old people who are dealing with the idea of, we used to be able to do this privately, and now you don't get to do that anymore. And that is incredibly challenging. It changes everything.
It's such a great point. One of the things that I marvel with, whether you like LeBron or not a misstep, like essentially off the court for the entirety of his career. And I appreciate all the things he's done off the court. Do I love the theatrics? No, but I have so much respect for him. I was watching The Last Dance when that got released, and I was thinking, Jordan played 36 holes on the day of a playoff game with Danny Ainge, who played for the Boston Celtics. Now, I don't have a huge deal with it, but if Steph Curry or LeBron did that with James Harden, just hypothetically, oh my God, like think of the outrage from people.
And there would be video.
Exactly.
There would be video of them high-fiving on the 17th hole after a birdie, and you're like, you're high-fiving this guy, you're playing him in 2.5 hours.
Exactly.
People would lose their mind.
Well, so I just want to go back, Dibs. I don't know if you remember this. I'm not trying to age you, but April 18th, 1977.
I'll never forget it.
Because you're a big-time Warrior fan. The reason why we played that cut, because I'm looking now. Sorry, I got sidetracked. Sorry, Nahigan. I know you sent an email about this the other day, but whatever. Bob Lanier passed away. Bob Lanier was on the Pistons that day. He got into a fight with Charles Dudley of the Golden State Warriors. Rick Barry got his eyes scratched. I'm sure Rick Barry will bring that up today.
Yep.
April 18th, 1977. Bob Lanier fighting.
If he doesn't bring it up, we will.
Nobody got a technical. Nobody got kicked out the game. They played on.
No, and I don't believe it was televised, and I don't think that I saw any memes on Twitter that day as I was walking home from second grade.
Boy.
But it was a time, and to your point, Mark, our lives, everyone's life is now being recorded.
Documented.
Like, if I walk from here to BART, it took BART today, shout out to Bay Bridge Backup and TSL on the rise, but between here and the Embarcadero station, how many cameras do you think capture me
that's a great
on my
question.
walk? And this is something we really learned at the Boston Marathon bombing, where they were able to trace those two scumbags all the way through their route with their backpacks. So if any of us think that everything that we're doing is not being recorded. I mean, in here, we've got Zoom cameras.
Yes.
We've got mounted cameras. You walk out of the building, there's cameras all over in the building, outside every building. So we all need to live our life in that same perspective.
I watched the D.B. Cooper, I'm going real old school, the D.B. Cooper doc on Netflix, right? And this is a guy who hijacked a plane.
I went to school with D.B. Cooper.
Where the hell do you find all this time? Every time
I mean, come on.
Anyway, go ahead.
He's got kids.
I mean,
he's got no kids.
Unbelievable.
D.B. Cooper, it was like an hour and a half, right? D.B. Cooper. But it's like, in this day and age, as he's walking through, he would have been captured by thousands upon thousands of cameras. Someone would have had a ticket. This and the other. The way you register now in terms of getting tickets, like, just thinking about what he did and getting away with it, it could never happen today.
Anything. Go to JFK being shot.
Exactly.
I mean, the whole thing would have been like, well, there's your guy right there.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, like, all of it would have been on tape. So, but especially if you're the Golden State Warriors and you're a celebrity. And so that to just go back and, Dibs, we made this point the other day. Go back to Draymond's press conference, and it is literally the one thing that I would have told him if I were his advisor. Don't do that. Don't get mad at the fact that there's video and it got out, and you said it got edited and presented a certain way, and there's no audio. You did this.
Yeah.
And you did this, and you're Draymond Green, so you damn well know that your life is being recorded, and you can't get mad when you made decisions and you make mistakes, and the world sees them. Because that is a baseline for you now when you wake up and leave your house. That's a baseline.
For all of us.
You cannot get mad. You can't get mad because you made a mistake and other people saw it.
What do you expect to practice today? He's returning to practice.
Expect.
And then
I would
tomorrow you
expect
brought
basketball
the game
cameras
practice.
off.
Yeah.
And by the way,
cameras off, right.
Him getting captured on video hitting Jordan Poole is the new media. So next time we talk old media, new media, score one for the new media.
You were on that, Mark. I want to ask you a question about, like, you guys were talking about everything's being documented. I had a nephew get into it with some kids at school. They created an account, and they were kind of cyberbullying this kid. And so, because we're in the media, I have some, I guess, experience on how to navigate it. And I'm curious how you guys are talking to your kids about everything you post, everything you video, everything you like, literally can affect you for the rest of your life. And I know that sounds dramatic, but he got in big trouble at school, and I don't want to give away all the details, but, like, I had to sit him down. I'm like, it's not funny. Like, you messed with this kid, and now everybody at the school knows about it because it's some fake account. And I'm thinking, like, this thing from 8th grade now it's not going to, hopefully, could carry on for his whole life, and he's just some kid messing up. How do you guys talk to your family about that?
You've all seen The Social Dilemma, right? I mean, if you haven't, here's the only takeaway you need. You are not getting away or hiding with anything you're doing on the internet. Like, if you think I'm in the privacy of my own home, and so now I get to go into darkplaces.com.
Yes.
And look, we're all human beings. I get it. Like, we all know what happens, right, when the lights go out. But I'm like, it is all, even if you visited it for 3 seconds, it is all being recorded. It is all on your resume. And you may be fine with that. Like, again, we're all imperfect human beings. But, man, like, I actually haven't really had to go too deep into that conversation yet in my house. My 15-year-old is not really wired that way. He's kind of an introvert, although you watch because there are things that they're doing that you don't know about.
Right.
But, like, the phones, like, when they become teenagers, they close the door. And that already gets you going, right? They close the door, and they're on their phone. And it's terrifying because, like, you can ruin your world from your bedroom with your phone.
My daughter is 6 weeks old, and she can't get off Instagram. I got pried up thing out of her hands already.
No, that's true, Mark. My niece was over Sunday.
Yeah.
And, her mom was like, so let me see this. Let me see your phone. And she has a text thread with her friends. They're in 5th grade. And some of the things that are being said in this show is like, that's not cool.
5th grade.
Like 5th grade. Wow. I mean, they're talking like grown-ups, man. I was talking to Darrell Wright about this the other day. He's like, man, I coach these kids, dude, they're growing up too fast, man. Way too fast. In the wrong direction, in the wrong way. Like Instagram,
and a lot of it's
TikTok,
because all those influences. And, I'm older than you three, and I grew up at a time where you didn't have cable TV. You had 6 channels. You had to get up, and you had to kick. You had to actually physically click the thing. And then I remember when that first cable box came out, and there was a hack where you could push 4 buttons at once, and then you type in HBO, and you would get HBO.
No way.
I'll show you sometime. You can look. It was the beige box.
Oh,
you push 4 buttons at once.
Wow.
The box went off, the TV didn't, and then you would type in. And we used to be able to get the Playboy Channel.
Oh, yeah.
And HBO and Showtime.
Cinemax.
All that stuff.
Late at night.
I mean, they didn't even have fights on HBO back then. This is like
HBO box. Oh, yeah.
This is like in the late 70s, early 80s. So, I mean, the influences that we had aren't even like 1/1,000,000th of what your kids.
Not even close.
My baby.
Yes.
So it's a lot harder now.
I will say, though, just to make everybody feel better, I truly believe this. Like, there's never been a 30 or 40 or 50-something in the history of the world that didn't think the world was going to hell in a handbasket.
That's true.
Right? Like, our parents sat around at this age at one point.
These hippies.
Right, and said the exact same
My
thing.
dad was a hippie, so
all it really means is we don't understand what they're dealing with.
Yeah.
Which has been true every generation in the history of mankind.
Yeah.
That's what this is their normal.
Yes.
This is right, the social media, and, they'll figure it out, and, there'll be pitfalls. But, it's terrifying.
Well, to bring it back to sports now, what you said about the Warriors is true. Not that they didn't realize that these things were being recorded because they're a part of the recording, but think about Ken Dorsey, the offensive coordinator for the Bills, who smashes the camera. We now have cameras in the booth.
And they know.
I know they
know.
know.
They know.
But the point is the encroachment on all of our lives is happening across all platforms.
Nowadays, we'd have the Mike Singletary dropping of the pants. I mean, that video would come out, wouldn't it?
Good point.
TMZ's still looking for it. The cameras and candlestick.
Those interns with the 49ers, man. They must be paid well.
That's it for us. We got to run because Rick Barry's joining Willard and Dibs at 9:30. Willard and Dibs coming up right now.